that you're crazy, but you're chasing the dream. See, you misbehaving. Every day they preach, telling us we gotta change. We're the ones insane. Where is the love? Someone tell me, believe. What you gonna do? What you gonna do now? Who you gonna be? Gotta stand up for yourself, gotta be brave. Like Taylor said, gotta shake it out, shake it out. Everything's gonna be alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. We ain't gonna be afraid of nothing anymore. It's gonna be alright. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, everything's gonna be alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. We ain't gonna be afraid of nothing anymore. It's gonna be afraid of nothing anymore. It's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We ain't gonna be afraid of nothing anymore. It's gonna be alright.
Pride and shame. Sometimes the scars ain't worth the pain. Hit 'em where it hurts 'em. Can't stop the rain. Let the money burn, feed the fame. We don't give a damn about it. I'm an outlaw, cooler than the West Coast. I'm a young gun looking for a smoke show. Quick to draw and I shoot to kill. Do it all for the thrill of it. There she goes again. Pretty eye coming from the other side looking for sin. And I'm bringing out the devil in her. I'm an outlaw, cooler than the West Coast. I'm a young gun looking for a smoke show. Quick to draw and I shoot to kill. Do it all for the thrill of it.
What is it said no more?
Victory is win! Immortals claim their
Welcome to day number 4 of Icons here at the Suntech Convention Center in beautiful Singapore. For the first time this tournament, it's win or go home. 8 teams are competing today in the play-ins, but only 4 will still be a part of Icons when the day is done. And as TJ would say, it's Elimination Day. Joining me, Degon on the desk, it's TJ and Riku. Riku, how are you doing?
I don't know. That was pretty accurate.
Thank you.
Impression of TJ there.
All I can say is it's Elimination Day.
There
it's
you go.
Elimination Day. It's been an
Elimination
exciting week. Lots of surprises. What is your biggest takeaway so far? We'll start with Riku.
Okay, I'm not going to do that voice. I don't think I can do it consistently. But I want to talk about the WRL recipe, right? We're
Okay.
looking at the teams. All of the Chinese teams were able to proceed to the next round in the group stage. And why is that? It's because mechanics are all pretty much already intact. That is their strength. It's a given. They don't have to work on that anymore. What's next would be their play style.
Sure.
The way that they move in the early game, it's always having to have a bot lane that has secure wave clear, very strong wave clear, focus on top and jungle early, marinate the enemy top laner. If you can kill him, that's great. If you can't, then get turret plates. That means gold into the upcoming fights, and then just snowball their lead through that.
But with Nova, JDG, and J-Team all through, all 3 of the WRL representatives into the group stage, the question is now who can beat them? Because it is very clear that China is the best region at this tournament, and everyone here left in the play-ins, all the teams waiting in the group stage, that's the mark they have to hit.
Right, and again, these are the play-in squads, so maybe there is a team that might be better, but region-wide, the WRL has reigned supreme and have not lost a game except for one Furious Gaming, LATAM taking a win off of Nova Esports in the first round of this play-ins, which was, again, crazy, historic. It's been great. Now, let's talk about some of the meta picks that have started popping on up here throughout the tournament so far. And one that we've seen more of is Yuumi, but that's more of an end product rather than something that was the first thing that happened. Why was Yuumi starting to come up a little bit here?
Yeah, so if you've paid attention to SEA, you will have seen the Yumi before. I think What the Jess is the player who premiered it, at least on the SEA stage. And this is a Yumi built entirely around AP scaling. So you start Luden Zeko, you go into Rabadons, which is a lot of damage items for a character that's supposed to be a support. And the theory is in lane, you do a ton of damage to your lane opponent, and then come teamfight, come mid-game, you can leave your laner and travel across the rest of the map, enable the compositions that are so powerful right now, the bruisers that dive the front line, the tanks that the WCK likes so much.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's just a big blanket covering so many of the melee champions when they go to you, when they engage first. That's why it's just so amazing. And the fact that it works so well with Olaf. It works so well with hyper-scaling carries like the Kai'Sa and the Vayne, which, you know, is still incredibly strong. It's just not allowed in the current meta at the moment to be incredibly popular.
Right, and when we think about the champs that Yumi kind of fits into then, right, we've seen Karma being banned away consistently, and if it's not banned, generally gets picked. And then we've tried to see also, was there any other alternative other than the Yumi and Karma? And we saw Sona a little bit here, TJ. Why are these all kind of clumped together?
Well, the Karma is very easy because she does the same things as the Yumi, right? You have that single target poke damage in the lane, which gives you a little bit of a boost to maybe a scaling carry you want to enable. And then come late game, if you've got a ton of bruisers, something like an Olaf, the Karma does the same thing, accelerates the team, speeds them up, gives them extra HP in the fight.
Yeah, I love how you brought that up because it's when I was watching VODs, especially from either WCK, Wild Tour, and stuff like that, even in the Japan Cup, Sona isn't popular at all in the WCS. It was more like the tier list of supports were Yumi, Lulu, Karma, and then that's it. No Sona at the bottom. But apparently Sona is like the third best if ever the two picks, the two popular enchanters, are not available.
And I will say it's worth noting, Karma is the most banned character at this tournament. And Sona is much further down, getting there because Yumi and Yumi and Karma must be removed. The Sona is less powerful because she can't leave and roam in the same way.
That's true.
You can't abandon your Dragon Laner in quite the same way that a Yumi will do once you hit the mid game.
Right. Now, Riku, I wanted to get your thoughts on some of the champions that have been standing out so far in this meta.
Oh, there's so many, but I have to pick the Lucian pick because the Lucian, I believe, is something I wouldn't consider a first pick blue side priority at all. It was very surprising to me, but as the days go by, it felt like the Lucian was a gatekeeper in the draft, where if I see a Lucian in the draft, that means I'm not going to pick hyper-scaling carries. That's going to bully my early game. Therefore, Vayne and Kai'Sa will be deterred in the draft.
Right. A very smart person in my ear said it's like Lucian right now, TJ.
Wait.
I know. Normally that would be a TJ joke, but this one.
No, that was worse than anything I've ever said.
TJ, any other final picks that you wanted to bring up that have been popping up?
So the Lucian is really good for that aggressive early game, and it's kind of a new pick. We saw a ton of changes to the runes that enable those kinds of characters with the addition of Lethal Tempo and Kraken Slayer. So there was the thought there would be more of those, but we're kind of seeing that the established meta, what we've been playing all season, has won out. That's Varus, that's Ziggs, that's Corki, characters that can play in that Dragon Lane by themselves from when their support leaves, and characters that can scale into teamfights and operate in teamfights from very far behind their front line.
Corki, the most picked champion so far here on Icons. Keep an eye on that as we go through the tournament. Now, the best Wild Rift players from every region are here at Icons. So the next topic, who are the top 5 players people should watch out for the whole tournament? And we'll start with you first, Riku.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this. So my 5 players, of course, it's no-brainer for me to say that one of them is gonna be Chaz and Helios for our mid and jungle duo from the Philippine region.
Bias, Riku!
I mean, as you get to look at the picture longer, right? There's a lot of WCS representatives.
They're all WCS.
Except for Singdo.
Okay.
Singdo is an amazing
just
jungler.
one?
Just the one. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's gonna change as the tournament progresses, but this is my current. I mean, Helios, Chaz, no-brainer there. And of course, Bruce is in the list as well because remember, he is the mid laner of Flash Wolves for the entirety of Year 0 and then switched back into this AD carry role, which is very reminiscent of his League of Legends PH stint. And it felt like he never left. It felt like he never left the role.
Yeah, Singdo, the current kill leader in all of the tournament, so very well deserve to be on Riku's list. All right, time to see TJ's list, and because it's TJ, he has 2 lists, so we can go ahead and figure that one out.
There's nothing I like more than being wrong on camera, so I figured we should start with this list that I submitted before the tournament began. These were the players that I thought we would have to watch out for before we saw any gameplay. And there are only 2 players on this list that we actually saw during the play-in stage, and I think I was wrong about both of them. Bruce and Maru both got dropped from my revised list that I submitted today. I added Long and Mana Frieza. Long, the best jungler in China, has been delivering for Nova Esports, and Mana Frieza delivered the most impressive support performance we have yet seen on an international stage.
All right, well, there you have it. Still waiting to see Luna and Lei. They'll be popping up
We're waiting.
here in just a little bit.
Yes.
Here's my list that I submitted here, and it starts with a couple of players that we haven't seen yet in the jungle. Rush and Lebmont. Again, Rush, part of Sengoku Gaming, led them to heights over at Horizon Cup. And then Lebmont for Immortals. There's my NA bias showing just a little bit there. The best jungler in all of North America.
It looks good on you, a little
Yeah.
bit of NA bias.
What the Jess, Long, and Exosen. And Exosen, again, I said it a little bit in the interview that we had yesterday. 9 years ago, made it to the global stage in League of Legends PC with Mineski in Season 3 World Championship. Toils for 9 more years, 2 different titles, now moves on over to Wild Rift, leads his team to not only icons here in the Global Championship, but winning that series that evaded him 9 years ago. If you don't love that, you don't have a pulse. All right, so hopefully we will continue to tell that story, and there'll be more wins.
Oh yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
More wins?
Of course, of course. I mean, you did manage to interview, not Helios, Exosen and Kaigo
Kaigo,
last
yeah.
time. They were very happy being back in the world stage.
Yeah, I'm very excited for them. All right, now let's take a look at our schedule for today. First up, it's Furious Gaming takes on Game Lord. Then it's Stamina versus Unsold Stuff. Vivo Keyed versus Rix. Whew, and then wrapping up the day, it's the big one. It's a big one for y'all.
I have to
Sentinels
leave
versus
before
Barbell
then.
Freaks.
No, you're staying.
All right, when we take a look at this, what jumps out at you here, Riku?
Okay, for me, it has to be Rix and VK, right? Vivo Kid, I feel like both of these teams can be explosive. I feel like that's going to be a very skirmish-heavy, team fight-heavy series, and I feel like that's going to go to Game 3 as well.
Ooh, okay, some game 3s, TJ.
I mean, the last one is obviously where my heart is pounding, but I think we've been blessed with a lot of really good elimination games.
True.
We're going to have to say some goodbye to some teams, but everyone has a fighting chance today, so it'll be a delight.
Yeah, and today it all starts with Game Lord versus Furious Gaming. And for Furious, it's a bounce back here as they're attempting, after that crazy game 3 or 3-game series versus Nova. Here's Furious Gaming's Pusher on why their confidence has only grown after that loss.
Soy Pusher, el medio de Furious Gaming. Es rara la sensación, como que estamos tristes por perder, pero contentos por el desempeño que dimos también. Entonces creo que dimos un buen espectáculo y mejor de lo que todo el mundo esperaba de nosotros, incluso nosotros mismos. Entonces, si bien se nos queda la espina de que nos quedamos cerca de ganar, creo que el balance es positivo. Nosotros siempre fuimos muy seguros, somos seguros de nuestras capacidades, de lo que podemos dar y lo que no. Y de hecho hoy nos superamos a nosotros mismos. Entonces es un boost de confianza para todo lo que queda del torneo y para nuestros siguientes enfrentamientos. Creo que son los que estamos más parecidos a nuestro nivel. Y pienso que juegan un estilo muy diferente a nosotros, entonces va a ser un choque de estilos interesante con un nivel de juego similar. Entonces tengo muchas expectativas por ese partido y claramente es nuestra prueba de fuego y nuestro rival a vencer. Voy por vos, Ruiz, te tengo en la mira.
Love that there from Pusher, and I just love the interview because it's taking away the wins that they had in their series versus Nova, and then giving the respect necessary for their next opponent in Game Lord, but then finishing with that confidence against Ruiz, that matchup there, TJ.
And that is a matchup we're all looking forward to, because Ruiz is one of the other veterans. They actually played the same mobile game previously, and in that game, Pusher played on a team called Assassin's Crew that was kind of around the middle of the pack in Latin America. Ruiz played on the world stage, played with some of the best teams. They never actually got to face each other. Pusher has gone back, built a team around himself, and now he's here to take a swing at Ruiz.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting, right? Because we already saw Pusher's performance when they went up against Nova, where he's just super aggressive. You know, when we saw him perform in their local region, it was a very lone wolf kind of style, high risk, high reward. If he sees an opportunity to eliminate you, that split-second decision making is gonna take Furious Gaming into new heights, and that's exactly what we saw in the Nova series.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very much you could tell this is the game plan was there, and in game 2 it worked, right? Credit to Furious Gaming to having a composition that wanted to scale late and then getting to that end game against Nova.
Yeah, and I think so much of what worked for them was their team fighting. Not just Pusher, but the entire team managing to build around his engage. We saw so many synced up plays where he would go in on the Zed, find a ton of damage, and they would follow through with Echo on the Jax, securing the kill. That's the style of team fighting that might work against EU, a region where I'm a little bit skeptical about their team fights.
Okay, when it comes to EU, right, I feel like they're no stranger to 1-3-1s. I feel like they can also pull it off. I remember when I looked back at, the Origin series last year, they were the first ones that I saw that consistently would pull up the Ashe, that would do 1-3-1s. And I feel like that can also appear in case they're not very confident too much on the team fights against Furious Gaming.
Well, I think that's the dream. If you can
Yeah.
avoid this, then you're doing your best. Game Lord here got a game against Flash Wolves where they got bodied because they struggled to control the map and because they struggled to take the team fights. I think the map is going to be easier against Furious Gaming. The team fights are going to be harder.
All right, well, if we take a look at this Game Lord roster here, remember, they had to have some shuffles in their roster, right? Not the Redemption now moving over to the jungle role. That was normally their Dragon laner. Jash comes on in, and we had some questions about Redemption earlier. It was like, okay, you're playing the Kazakhs, but what effect are you having on the map?
I will say Redemption has played everything. He's another one of these mobile gaming veterans who's played like 3 different games, played in every role across every series. If there is one player who can make the swap over the course of this tournament and dial it in, it's him. You're right, it didn't look great on their first outing, but it's hard to play jungle into a team like Flash Wolves that is specifically so good at taking away your control of the map.
Sure.
For me, it has to be like we already talked about Ruiz and Pusher. For me, I'm looking at Lonely Kid and Libra as well. Libra had another amazing performance last time on that Nova series, right? And I felt like because of their individual performances, it led them into that big early lead, to stall into that late game. And I feel like Lonely Kid has to act as that gatekeeper to make sure that Libra doesn't spin out of control, or else they might have a bit of a hard time here.
Yeah, and shout out to Stuart. His bold prediction was that Lonely Kid was going to get a couple solo kills, or get a solo kill. He got 2 of them in game number 1.
Yep.
But in game 2 against Flash Wolves, they very much focused him, and he ended up falling behind here, TJ.
I mean, that's the cost of doing well in game 1.
That's true.
I think that top lane matchup is going to be really exciting because how much of the engage Libra was for Furious Game. Right, that's a team that has a ton of stars that want to finish fights. You need someone who's willing to facebreaker into an entire team and see what happens. And Libra's willing to do that. The difference, I would say, Lonely Kid was playing for those solo kills. As his team was falling apart, he was staying on the sideline trying to make the split push work. I don't think that's going to work against Furious, who are good at forcing fights, who aren't going to give them an opportunity to get objectives. It needs to be Ruiz stepping up, being able to match that pressure in the mid lane, being able to team fight alongside Lonely Kid.
I like that. Pressure.
That's exactly what I was going to say. TJ, you saw us too. Both of us gave you that.
Like,
Pressure.
pressure.
TJ. Esports TJ, everyone. That was a great job. I like that one.
I was about to ask because I was wondering what the approach is going to be, because usually in mid lane matchups, either you want fight fire with fire, assassins versus assassins, or you want to throw the towel and just instead play like a Garen or a Singed.
And if we look at those stats that we had up earlier, you can see what has happened so far in this tournament. We've seen Ruiz playing kind of passively, being stable in lane, not taking as many risks, which makes his numbers look all right. But compared to Pusher, who is taking those risks, getting those kills, even when things go wrong, he's having more impact on the game.
As we take a look at the bracket, whoever wins this one has to go face Flash Wolves, maybe a
That's
back.
the prize.
Yeah, that's the prize here, right?
Congratulations.
Nova's already booked their ticket to the group stage, but then Flash Wolves will be there. So we're going to go through the different brackets here because I think we've set the stage well here for our Group A elimination match. Now in Group B, we'll look a little bit further ahead. Stamina and USG Unsold Stuff Gaming. Love that name there from the Japan.
Very good.
Lovely.
Yeah. Their reward will be, I guess, stressing out Riku and
RRQ!
RRQ here.
I mean, Riku, are you stressed out by either of those teams if they reach RRQ?
No.
Yeah!
RRQ, they are amazing. That's it. Period.
Period. Done. Let's take a look at the bracket here for Group C in our elimination match. We'll get to that in just a bit. Europe's Rix versus Vivo Kid from Wild Tour Brazil.
And we have some kind of fun stakes here because Vivo Kid, of course, looked really good earlier in their matches regionally, didn't manage to deliver versus J-Team. Rix managed to step up versus T1. So in a way, this is kind of a reoccurring match between our Chinese and Korean teams. This is another chance for us to get a metric how good that matchup is, because how good is it to be good against T1 is what we're going to learn.
Right. T1, very kind of awkward an awkward
Yeah,
opponent
yeah.
to play against. So that'll be a series. I guess whoever wins that one will have an awkward opponent. And then we close this one out here. Group D, the important one. They're all important, but this one just feels
This
as
one's
it
the most
feels, right?
important, dear God.
Guangdong Freaks and Sentinels. And again, I think Sentinels got, I think they put a good punch in, but it was just that little
They
bit
coulda
at the
won.
end. Whereas Guangdong Freaks, it felt like
Yeah.
they were a little out of sorts.
Well, again, I mean, the same thing we were talking about with T1. I think Korea has looked shaky at this event. And I've been discussing it a little bit with Leonard. We've been trying to figure out, did we overestimate Korea? Or
Yeah.
is there maybe some stage nerves?
Right.
Or is there maybe a meta problem?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
point, Riku.
It feels like that, right? Like we saw the draft of Guangdong Freaks last time. It felt a little bit awkward. Felt like they were doing too many things at once.
All right. Well, we'll get to that game in just a little bit. Time for this game. Prediction time. Is it going to be Game Lord or Furious Gaming? What do you got?
Well, it was very easy for me. Furious Gaming all the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Same here. I saw we all saw their performance against Nova, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot right now for the European representative to kind of battle across the lack of momentum that they got in their games, right? I think Furious Gaming has something that everyone in the world would like to say.
They got to find fights.
A win gets WRL. And yeah, they'll have to find those fights. So we'll see if they're able to do it. Now, the predictions are locked on in, and our pre-show has now ended. In just a few minutes, Grandin and Hell's Devils will bring you the first match of the day. Icons 2022 starts right now.
Woo!
Yo creo que somos un equipo que cuando no tiene presión juega muy bien y como venimos de Latinoamérica creo que todos nos menosprecian o no tienen unas altas expectativas sobre nosotros. Entonces el hecho de no tener presión encima es que cualquier cosa que hagas vas a sorprender. Los grandes también sangran.
Então a gente vai focar agora um passo de cada vez, não dar um passo maior que a perna, ficar pensando como a gente vai fazer isso para mudar a China e tudo mais. Atualmente a gente só vai pensar na Europa.
只要做好我们自己该做的事情就好了。然后，因为我之前也说，就是我们毕竟是抱着学习的心态来参加这次世界赛的。我都希望就是说能给大家就是说展现我们欧洲赛区的风采。
Vai ser um jogo muito difícil, VK é pedreira e nós temos um buff da lower bracket.
People think that we are the weakest team, It's like the popular opinion that we are from LAN, we are the third team of LAN, but we want to prove that they're wrong.
そうですね、メンタルじゃないですか。悔いのないように頑張ります。勝負。
Duvida da gente não, que a gente pode surpreender bastante ainda. A gente é um time que estuda bastante, dedica. Cuidado, nós está chegando.
Have no doubt we have some of the best teams in the world here in the Icons Global Championship, but we're now moving into my personal favorite part of the competition, elimination time, Hells.
Right, this is it. We've seen a lot of games, we've had a lot of fun, but this is it. You lose, you go home. And seeing GameLord on the stage right now, it's making me nervous, but it's also making me proud. You know, I'm seeing these boys, they grew up, they got so good, they made it to the world stage, so let's see what they can deliver.
All cards on the table. You cannot hold back anymore.
This is it. Like, we're gonna see everything. Like, that's what makes these games so fun, right? Like, when someone gets desperate, well, I'm not saying it's a desperate time, but this is their last chance. They'll show you everything. Like, everything that they had, they'll show you right now.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to that. We have some of the best moments so far coming through from teams like Furious Gaming. GameLord has shown us an impressive performance as well. Now they really have to step up to the plate. One more BO3 or you go home.
Oh yeah, and I'm honestly excited about GameLord because, you know, they changed things up, and I know what these players can do. Lonely Kid, Heste. We saw that Leona from Heste yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see a lot more today. Like, especially from Heste. He plays that Alistar. He can play that Thresh as well. We saw Man of Freeze's Thresh. This guy can do it too, Grandin.
We've seen some overlap here with Kaposiba as well. Kaposiba has played some engaged tile supports, but he also plays the Enchanters, and so, I mean, honestly, GameLord, we haven't seen as many games for them. It's like 2 games to 3 games. You know, it's a small sample size, so much more to explore.
And this is a whole different GameLord than we know, because obviously Zefta's not here. It's Redemption in the jungle. And the reason that I'm mentioning this right now is because Echo, the jungler from Furious Gaming, this guy was on par with Long, who we've talked about is currently, in our opinion, is the best jungler of the entire play-ins right now. So the fact that Redemption, who is normally a Dragon Laner, is now playing in the jungle up against Echo, who was able to keep up with Long, that sounds insane to me.
And you were telling me earlier on while we were doing the preparation for this, you were like, guys, this is a top secret tip here from Hell's Devil. Something about Xin Zhao.
You want to be banning out Xin Zhao against Echo. If you don't ban it, he's going to pick it, he's going to destroy you. It's really as simple as that. So I expect GameLord to do that as well. I expect GameLord to do their homework, because they do have some amazing coaches as well. Like, the one thing that GameLord did have on their, which was good for them, was their draft. So as we head into the draft right now, I have high expectations from GameLord. They actually had an amazing draft in their first series. It was just the execution that I feel was not as good.
Of course, I want to give a big part of that draft from GameLords over to the fact they have Coach Glaciax coming in here, and Glaciax was with Tribe Gaming in the previous Horizon Cup. Starting this one off, of course, you have to ban away the Zed from Pressure.
Makes sense, right? Pressure on that Zed yesterday was incredible. He took a game from Nova with that Zed, I believe, so you don't want to be playing up against that. Corki ban makes sense, one of the most played champions in the game as well right now. So as I said, coaches are going to be super important, and GameLord is going to give us... There it is. See? They know it as well. They ban out that Xin Zhao. They just don't want to be dealing with Echo on that Xin Zhao.
And a big part of what we saw from Furious Gaming was when we had pressure on the Zed, he was able to get to your back line. He was able to take down these big targets. Now, without that assassin, do you see him going back to the same idea, or does he move away to something else?
It's interesting because, you know, you still have champions like the Diana that are open, so there's definitely still assassins up for grabs. But another interesting thing that I do want to talk about is the supports. We see a Yuumi ban right now, right? We talked about those aggressive, engaged supports. Let's see what Furious Gaming decides to ban, because if they leave out all of the engaged supports, like Heste is very likely going to be picking up one of them.
And what was surprising here was that Furious Gaming went into a group with one of the strongest, one of the strongest WRL teams going into it. Were able to take a game off of them. They were the first ones to show that, and then we saw that momentum carry forward. RRQ with their game as well. You know, we start to see teams being able to make that step forward. I'm looking forward to see what they have here. And of course, Karma coming through full game law. It's one of the highest ban rate champions, now also in the pick rate as well.
Oh, there it is indeed. You're leaving out that Senna, and Furious Gaming actually picks out Senna Kha'Zix. I believe they picked the Kha'Zix to kind of deny it from Redemption. However, I know Redemption can also play a beautiful Lee Sin. Lee Sin also does pretty well into that Senna and into the Kha'Zix, as his third ability will reveal them during their invisibility.
Right.
So Lee Sin could be an interesting pick for Game Lord right here, right now. Let's see what they actually do decide to go with. Indeed, like, the thing about Ruiz is, however, like, he doesn't play that many champions. He's good at the champions he plays, but like, you know, you have the Ahri, you have the Garen.
He's a specializer.
He's a specializer, but that's a good thing, but that can also be a bad thing.
Of course, you know, strengths and weaknesses balance themselves out, and so Game Lord side might want to see what they want to go for. Do they want to hold on to that counter pick towards the end, but potentially run the risk of losing their champion pool in the next ban phase? Well, the Varus comes across a safe option to deal with the Senna, but that leaves still open the Nasus potentially.
Exactly.
For the Senna Nasus spotlight.
That's what I was going to talk about. You could still get that Nasus on Furious Gaming's composition, and honestly, no one has showed yet how to counter it out. Like, it's just such an incredible Dragon Lane combo. Just pick some damage with it, and that Nasus is never going to die. Wukong is a very, very solid pick. I don't expect it to go on Lonely Kid. I know he can play a good Wukong, but I'm expecting more of a carry on Lonely Kid, to be fair.
Do you want to see something aggressive, something
I
that
want to see
can
Akali.
really push the tempo against Libra?
I want to see Akali on Lonely Kid. I know what this guy can do on Akali. It's incredible. Like, he can play those Bruces very, very well. There's the Nasus that we expect. But Akali on Lonely Kid, that's the one champion he can, like, absolutely hard carry the game with. Sure, with Riven you can carry. Sure, with Darius you can carry. But it's a whole different style of carrying when you play Akali.
I mean, that's the story that we heard, right? We saw Lonely Kid go into the fights. He was there to clean up. He was there to be that big carrier towards the end. Now, if he gets the Akali, could still look to do that. Furious Gaming banning away the Riven, trying to target that pool a little bit.
So the question was indeed going to be, like, who is Furious Gaming going to be targeting out? Because, a Singed man from Game Lord right there. Ruiz is actually notorious for not being able to deal with Singed players. He loses his lane against Singed players quite often, and it also counters out his Garen, who's really good at. So let's see what Furious Gaming actually decides to ban last. Is it going to be the Ahri from Ruiz to really take him off his comfort pick? It is the Darius. So they actually chose to fully focus on Lonely Kid right there. They know, they've done their homework. This is the guy you want to be focusing out. So they banned away his Darius, they banned away his Riven. He still has a lot of champions to pick. One that I do want to talk about in particular actually is the Fiora. He played it yesterday, was unfortunately not as good, but Fiora right now is incredibly powerful. And there it is, the Diana ban against Pusher too. We talked about it.
Yeah, get rid of the Assassins, don't give him any chance to get in. That being said, I am a little bit surprised that Furious decided to get rid of the Darius. A very powerful pairing together with the Senna Nasus, but the Olaf comes through for them instead.
I don't really like the Olaf here. Like, you know, we know Olaf as like a good all-rounder, but if you actually look at the composition of Game Lord, Varus can deal with Olaf. Karma's third ability is amazing into Olaf because she can move the move. She can
you
buff the
kite him
movement
so
speed.
well,
Yeah,
right?
you can kite him so incredibly well, and then that Wukong as well. Like, these are champions that can deal with an Olaf.
A lot of ground control on the side of Game Lord.
There it is!
And like you called it, the Fiora coming through.
That makes me happy. This is the one champion that I want to see Lonely Kid play. I kept talking about it, you know. He never played it, but I saw him play it in ranked. I knew he was preparing something because Fiora got that massive buff. Oh, that's a tanky composition coming through from Game Lord right now.
Okay, I have to ask this here, Hells. You watched them in the EMEA. You watched them in WREC, right? You knew what they were going to play for. Do you feel like Furious Gaming knew what they were going to go for?
I think they did a decent job drafting, but yet again, as I said, like, Game Lord did an even better job. Oh, there is the Echo. We love seeing an Echo. It's going to be a mid lane Echo on Prussia. That's yet another assassin. And the question is, did Game Lord forget about the Echo, or did they just disrespect the Echo? I love seeing an Echo right now.
I mean, there's so many bans. There are only so many bans.
Yeah,
you have 5
right.
options. The Echo slips through. Furious Gaming will manage to pick that one. Prussia will get maybe not his first pick, maybe not his second pick, but definitely a very interesting third pick choice in the mid lane.
So in this one particular game, I feel like Game Lord is really going to be playing around Lonely Kid because Fiora should win the matchup against Olaf. And I feel Libra understands this as well, so he's probably going to be playing it a little more safely. The problem that Furious Gaming has, however, is Senna. Senna is not the type of champion that's that good at rotating. She's not that good at ganking like the Galio, for example, and these other types of support champions. So Furious Gaming kind of wants to sit down, scale up to the late game, you know, get that, ramp up that Echo, ramp up that Senna Nasus, and win the game in the late game. But Game Lord is not going to allow that to happen easily.
I mean, we still see on Game Lord's side some pretty powerful champion picks in the late game as well. The Fiora's definitely scales up decently. We've seen how well it's able to do in the jungle, in the Baron lane. But do they stack up as well as Game Lord?
The question, I think the better question to ask is Lonely Kid gonna play it correctly? Because you're right, Fiora scales into the late game as well, but we saw in their second game in the first series, Lonely Kid didn't play a good macro game. You remember, like, Game Lord gave away an Elder Dragon for free, Lonely Kid was farming on the top side of the map, Game Lord was fighting constantly in a 4 versus 5, while Lonely Kid was, yet again, split pushing, without a hole breaker as well. So like it just really felt like Lonely Kid was not playing that particular game correctly, but I feel he has it in him on Fiora, and if he shows it, he has to show it right here, right?
Along the back of Lonely Kid. Game win or loss could be on the back of this Fiora performance.
They actually lost because, well, I wouldn't necessarily say because of him, but he didn't hard carry them that game. Yeah,
well,
it's funny when you phrase it like that,
You just need someone to hard carry you. That's what I need in my games. I feel like Game Law looking at it the same way right now.
Yeah, and jungle rotations is going to be a really nice thing to watch because Heste is known to roam around with the jungler, but having Redemption in the jungle right now, he has to step up. He has to gank all the time, and then I want to see Heste follow up as well. Jash needs to be in control of his wave. He needs to be able to 1 versus 2 up against the bot lane of Furious Gaming. So the question is, are they going to be this confident? Are they going to be able to get those jungle rotations? And are they going to be able to close out this series?
Well, there's only really one way to find out as we get ready for game number 1 between Game Lord and Furious Gaming. Expectations for the series here, Christian?
I hate to answer this, but
I'm putting you in a tough spot right now.
Okay, you know what? Game Lord is gonna take at least one game. I'm just gonna say that. They're gonna take one game.
At least one game.
I don't think they'll win, but I'll think that they'll lose 2-1. They'll take one game.
We've seen an amazing performance from Furious Gaming, but why do you not think that Game Lord could have it?
The thing is, like, Furious Gaming won against Nova. They won against Nova. And their jungler, Echo, he was able to keep up with Long. So why would he not be able to keep up with Redemption, who is a very new player to the role? I mean, you could take any person in this world and, you know, introduce him to a new role in the game. It's going to take him a while. He's not going to win against a world-class jungler. These guys, Echo, has been playing jungle for a long time. He's mastered the art of the jungle. And jungle as well is known to be like one of the most difficult roles to get good at Wild Rift. So you have to be able to roam around correctly. You have to be able to get those objectives. You have to win the smite games as well. That's another thing. There's so many things your head has to do when you play jungle.
I love the way you put it, the art of the jungle. You can hear the Krugs respawning, the chirping of the Raptor camp as you walk through the jungle, as you clear it out as well. You know, that is a big trademark of a lot of these top teams now, an incredibly strong jungler, something that a lot of the WRL teams have moving into this one. We're looking forward to see how they play this one. Now, Redemption has his work cut out for him. Going up against Echo, we need to see what happens here in the jungle. The Kha'Zix is going to take a little longer to scale up, but like you said, this is a late game scaling composition. What happens here? How can we see Game Lord punish this scaling option from Furious?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely expecting Redemption to gank that Baron lane. He should be ganking Lonely Kid, right? But the thing is, Furious Gaming is going to expect this as well. So the Redemption has to ask himself, how often can I really gank Lonely Kid? Because they'll know. He's also going to have to be ganking the mid lane, ganking the bot lane, and he has to put up that pressure. Because if he doesn't, they will very likely lose that late game against this composition that Furious Gaming drafted. And it's just so hard for Redemption. I honestly feel bad for him because all the pressure is going to be on him to play a good jungle, because we've seen players like really choke in that jungle, go 0-7 and just lose the game entirely. And this is master junglers and not people like Redemption. So, man,
Let's move it a little bit over. So we've talked so much about the jungle role, the kind of difficulty stacked on Redemption right now. Let's look towards some of the other parts of the team. Guys like Ruiz here in the mid lane. How does he kind of stack up in the competition?
I feel Ruiz is a bit of an inconsistent player. Incredibly good, but he could also have a few games where he just doesn't do that well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does in this particular game. He's up against Prusher, who challenged him in that video, right? I really love that. Like, he said, I'm coming for you, Ruiz, right? He's coming for him, and Prusher proved himself. He showed what he's made of. You even saw, like, Game Lord showed that they're kind of afraid of him by banning out that Zed and the Diana. These are 2 target bans, and Ruiz has to step up his game. He needs to win that lane. You know, he's also another factor in the team of Game Lord that could win them the game, because obviously in the mid lane, you're in the middle of the map. You can roam around all the time, help out your jungler, help out your Baron laner, help out your bot. You can help out everyone. So yeah, every matchup is going to be an interesting one. And another one, you know, in the Dragon lane, as I said, Jash, this guy is new to, well, it's not new to Gamer, but he's on the main roster right now. He used to be a substitute. He has to step up his game instantly as well. So a lot of pressure on Gamelord. They lose, it's over.
You can tell how Hells is so committed to this match right now. It's like, what's the one thing that can win in the game? Well, actually, it's not one thing. It's like the 5 things. Like
I want them to win, you know?
Gamelord could win this game if any of these check marks are hit. It's not an easy check mark, but once you get there, Gamelord stand that chance. And of course, we look at them as an incredibly strong team, one of the best teams at Wild Rift in the world.
They actually used to be the best team in Europe in previous patches, where the APC meta was on, right? Where Redemption was playing that Orianna, the Ziggs in the lane, when they had Zefta in the jungle, like that. In that patch, they actually beat out Rix very easily. That's a funny thing, right? But now they're falling apart a little bit. But I still think, you know, if they ignite that old fire they had back then, they could still have it in them. It's just all about them being confident in themselves and stepping up in the game.
We want to see them turn up the heat, put the pressure on their opponents, and find out exactly how far they can go in the competition. Like I mentioned earlier, this is my favorite part of the competition. Once you get the elimination matches.
Yeah,
maybe I'm a bad person. I like to watch them squirm a little bit, you know.
No, I think everyone likes this. You know, everyone secretly likes to see teams get eliminated because, like, these are the games where you'll see everything from them. You'll see a lot of emotion coming through from them because yesterday, you know, when teams win, sure they win. When teams lose, sure they lose. It's not whatever, right? We didn't see as much emotion as we would expect, but today we will, right? Like, if you're down 1-0 and then you reverse it to a 2-1, like, I can guarantee you, people are going to be screaming. People are going to be breaking tables today.
I hope not. We only have like the 1 set. I don't know how fast we could get that fixed. We still have a bunch of games coming our way after this one. We, in fact, since we have a little bit of time, can start to look a little bit more macro towards our next matches as well. We also have Stamina and USG coming up next. And with these big matches, do you see any particular standouts that you would like to call out to?
Honestly, Furious Gaming. That's the one team that, you know, I see stand out. To be honest, between USG and Stamina, like, you know how I rate standing out? Like, if a team has a potential to beat a Chinese team, I call it a team that stands out. It's funny that I'm saying it like this.
Why is it not WCS team? Why is it not... if a team has a potential to be a WCS team, why is it WRL team?
Honestly, because the WR team they were next level. All 4 of them qualified already, and they didn't even break a sweat. I believe they won like 12 games and only lost 2 of them. I believe it was something like that.
They're all qualified at this
they
point.
all qualified, and nearly all of them qualified with a 2-0 victory. So, like, if you have a potential to beat out those teams, then I would say you're a good team.
Yeah, well, RRQ did take a game off of JDG, so something to look out for, right? They are one of those teams that can have very high highs and also some hit rock bottom lows.
And that's the problem with a lot of these teams, right? Like, I talked about Liberty as well. This is such an incredible team, and I would rate them as one of those teams that could take a game from a Chinese team, but these guys are also inconsistent. I feel this is the biggest problem with most teams. They're super good, but they're just inconsistent. And Gamelord is one of those teams as well, where they have a few minor inconsistencies currently, which can cost them free games. Like, I've seen them lose games that they should have won for free. And another team that has that is also Rix from Europe. Like, it seems like it's a European team because Rix, you know, they had a lot of games where they just lost the Elder Dragon. And I said it before, right? Like, they're probably having nightmares about the Elder Dragon, so... Yeah.
Definitely a lot of pressure on them then, you know. I have to say, you know, watching the region from an outsider perspective, when I watch Gamelord play regionally as well, it seems like a team that does have some really strong peak moments, but like you've mentioned, have that level of inconsistency. Well, they get to have a bit of a prize, I suppose. After winning this match, they get to move on and look for their next opponents, right, which are, reminding again, Group B. This is Group B.
Yeah, I think so.
Point being, you know, we have WCS teams waiting for them at the end of the next groups. We have RRQ and Flash Wolves both lying away. BRU managed to qualify. They are the first WCS team to qualify. And how do you feel about that? Flash Wolves, RRQ both lying in the waits for the next teams to come fight.
They seem pretty strong as well, right? I gotta be honest, these guys seem pretty strong as well. The SCA teams were very, very good, and I feel they're waiting for them with like their hands open up. Right? They're ready. They're gonna take them on, and that's just what makes all of these matches so incredibly interesting, because that's also gonna be an elimination match. You lose that one, and you're out as well. But Brandon, I gotta ask you as well. You know, outside of your region, right now, what is your favorite team in the Icon series?
Right now, in play-ins.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta give me a moment.
Yeah,
I've gotta think this one through, and maybe I'll verbalize some of my thoughts as well.
Yeah, sure.
So what I've really liked so far is I like the kind of energy from like Furious.
right? So
Furious.
Furious is like, it's pretty high up there, right? The fact they were able to take that win off, I think we've talked so much about it at this point, so I won't repeat myself too much more. But their ability to take games off of really strong teams, that's always something that I love to see. But I'm kind of more of a consistency kind of guy.
Oh.
You know, I like to watch teams that are able to play consistently and take games off consistently. I guess at that point, maybe Kwangdong Freaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe Kwangdong Freaks. You know, I like what they're being able to try and do. I like that kind of star focus between like the top side of the map and really trying to activate things there. They fit very well in the current meta. Maybe fell a little bit short in some of their matches, but they were able to still get some strong leads to begin with.
You know what I really love about Furious Gaming as well? They were very humble. We just saw that video where they were talking, and they didn't seem cocky or anything. They were just like very humble, right? We're up against Game Lord, who's a very good team like us. You know, like just talking very nicely and just challenging them like an even team. So I just love seeing that from this team. Just very humble, very nice, but also very, very good at the game.
Absolutely, and we might have to wait a little bit longer before we get to watch them play, but it won't be too long, I promise. We're going to go for a quick little break. When we come back, game number 1 of day 4 of Icons Play-ins.
Oh, hell yes. Hell for tonight. We'll be stars until the morning comes. Till the morning comes. We'll be stars until the morning comes. We'll be stars until the morning comes. Shining so bright, just for tonight. We'll be stars until the morning comes. Getting so high, all the time. We'll be stars until the morning comes.
Game Lord drafts have been completed. We are just now waiting for game 1 to begin so that we can get back into this. Again, I'm Brandon. With me here is Hell's Devil. And here we have it. We're moving into the Rift.
Oh,
as
there we go.
elimination matches start.
I'm so excited. I'm way too excited. I'm sorry. I'm way too excited about this game.
No, please, by all means.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, get more excited.
So it is indeed a Karma in the mid lane. That was the one thing that I was not 100% sure of. So it's Heste on the set. This is that one champion that I want to look at, and it seems like he's already being very aggressive.
Yeah, the champion you want to look at is walking them down in bottom side. Actually going to burn the heal from Kapasiba.
So Set is one of those champions that I want to see Heste on, right? Very aggressive, can roam around, can get ganks. We've seen it happen in this tournament earlier already. Oh, and Prusher trying to fight Ruiz. He's showing them who's boss in lane already.
Of course, you get a strong start from Prusher. That is what he is looking to try and get done. But going back on the point of the set.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, we're gonna see a lot of ganks. We're gonna see a lot of these aggressive plays. This is just the beginning, and I want to see Heste being comfortable on this. Redemption trying to find some ganks right here. Unfortunately, not working out for him, but I want to see Heste be comfortable. Because unfortunately on that Leona, the last game, he was 0-6, Grandin. So it didn't work out too well for him that time.
A bit of an issue when you're against some really strong teams. You know, you always have to try to figure out exactly when you can and cannot go win. Heste now this time, he's up against Furious Gaming. I would not make a comment if that is an easier or more difficult team to do that against. We'll have to see. Both these teams have to prove to us what they have as we start to see a skirmish towards the top side river, fighting for the Scuttle Crab. It will just go over the Redemption. Well, maybe not a skirmish, you're just going to take it away.
Oh, good rotation by Redemption, and Heste is ready here ready here as well. So Game Lord actually doing a surprisingly good job in that early game, and Ruiz getting a fight with Echo.
Of course, starting this one off, won't be able to find all too much. Misses the flash phase breaker, but Echo gets to walk closer back towards his turret. Pops the Haymaker, looking for a little bit more exit damage on the Kha'Zix.
Oh, that was a close one, Grandin. That was just a centimeter away. Redemption is ready for that kill. So they're gonna push him under the turret and they're gonna try to look for that kill.
I'm looking forward to see what happens here. Lonely Kid is that big win potential here. They're gonna pop the ultimate a little bit early, but that means he takes turret aggro. He's not to die. He's not going down.
They got
Flash
him.
away for safety, but they still get the kill.
There you go, and that is the Heste I know. This is the Heste that I want to see. Roaming around, being there for his team when he needed. And you know what's funny? They didn't even need him. But in the case that they needed him, he was there and ready to help them secure that kill.
Yeah, for safety, you gotta make sure that your guy is there. Whereas you look towards bottom side here, Furious Gaming, of course, they just want to keep this scaling lane going. Get the Nasus up going. Get
he got
Kapasiba
it.
going. The parallel convergence. Stun onto Ruiz. Not much mana left, but it's going to be difficult for Prussia to find a kill.
And I love this draft by Game Lord even more because they put Jash on that Varus. Varus is that one ADC that can survive a 1 versus 2 lane because he can just shoot those arrows from a very long distance and stay safe under his turret. So that gives opportunity to Heste to constantly roam around. The one problem you are going to have, however, is you're going to be behind in gold and experience.
Libra having a difficult time here against Lodi Kid.
But yeah, we expected that to happen, right? Like, Fiora wins against an Olaf, and especially Lonely Kid on that Fiora. He's gonna win his lane. I mean, if he doesn't, then this game is pretty much doomed.
And it's not too bad of a situation for the bottom side too. Jash is still doing quite well. You know, we mentioned how he can end up losing Golden EXP for now. Actually still being able to keep up.
Man, Prusher catches him every single time.
Good to see a fight happen here.
Oh!
It's Libra that trades back with the return solo kill.
Oh, and that's horrible for Lonely Kid. Libra just caught him off guard. He killed him. He even wasted Lonely Kid's ultimate, and it's Libra that's running away with the kill right now.
Lonely had to take the initiative. He needed to go in. He needed to get the fight done early before the right rock could come through.
Oh, and Heste is in trouble.
In a weird position here. We start to see Prussia looking for the re-engage Echo following behind the Void Assault comes through. Kapasiba rotates to the mid lane to provide support.
So Heste did have to use his ultimate right there, which is an incredibly important ability, which is unfortunately not going to be up for Game Lord during the next objective. So it's going to be interesting to see how Game Lord plays around that next objective, and if they're actually going to be able to buy enough time for Heste to get his ultimate back up.
Some consolation though, you still have the Wukong ultimate, you have Redemption. You have Redemption's ultimate. You also saw Echo use his ultimate.
And the thing is as well, Lonely Kid is sitting on tier 2 items, while Libra is sitting on a Black Cleaver. And if we look at all of the builds of Furious Gaming, actually, they have better items on it. Look at that, they got 4 items finished off, and Game Lord is sitting on what, 2 items?
Well, first spawn coming through, Game Lord with the items disadvantage. We'll have to see how much that matters. Prussia gets caught out, pulled through, and a beautiful flash cyclone. But the heal comes across with Kapasiba, stalls for some time. Redemption starts to walk back in, looking for the catch onto the Varus, but just gets to walk away. No follow-up from Furious.
That's a big kill from Game Lord right there. They are gonna start this dragon with a massive lead because Prussia is not here.
Well, I'm not sure if they can, but Transcendent Embrace comes through. They get the initial catch off onto Sata. Sota gets back on the tower, picks up the honey fruits. You can see Echo positioning over by the side. This is looking big here, trying to jump in. No isolate damage. Misses out the chance for the kill into Redemption.
Echo went on a clone. That's kind of funny. Redemption baited him. Echo went on a clone. He used his full engage. He used his ultimate, and Lonely Kid gets the kill this time, Grandin.
And a bloodthirsty fight up in the top side. Both top laners trading kills back and forth.
It's Furious Gaming, though, that takes the dragon. For free, it seems. Gamelord is pushing that top lane, but it seems like, yeah, Furious just got it for free.
Up in gold, without a dragon. Looking like they're gonna get first turret with this top side one going down. Game Lords for the 5, almost 6 minutes turret.
Yeah, and this is what we expected, right? Like, Lonely Kid is gonna do this. He's gonna get ahead. He's 1.1k ahead already. Like, this is exactly what we expected coming into this game. Unfortunately, he still doesn't have an item quite yet. So it seems like Redemption is able to get that Rift out for free, but Echo is starting to look for a gank. Ooh.
Doesn't find it though.
Doesn't find it though. It was a good try, but he doesn't find it. Heste this time is right there for Josh. It seems like Heste is much better into his game right now. He's there whenever he needs to be there, and he's roaming around whenever he needs to roam around. Ruiz may be in trouble, however, but he sees the gank coming as well.
Yeah, on good form here. It feels like Josh and Heste have managed to find that balance. Heste roams around the map. Josh says, okay, I'm just gonna play really far back.
No, this is looking like a very strong Game Lord, to be honest. Like, this is the Game Lord that I wanted to see. I didn't expect it, but Redemption is stepping up his game in that jungle. Like, as we said, we expected Echo to destroy Redemption, as he was able to keep up with Long, who is, in our opinions, the strongest jungler in the players right now. But Redemption, as a new player to the jungle, he's doing it.
I mean, I asked, guys, if you guys forgot, I asked Hells, what does Game Lord need to do to win? I asked him for like one thing. He gave me 5 different options. Lonely Kid being #1 up on that list.
Yeah, by far.
Up. And we get to see that happen. Redemption, of course, as well. You know, not as many expectations placed onto him. Relatively inexperienced, but now coming into this. Keeping up here with Echo.
So Lonely Kid decides to go for the Player Rune King, and I want him to go for a Hole Breaker as well. Or I want him to roam around and fight a little more. Gamelord is going to try to push down this turret, but Furious Gaming does have 3 people defending it.
Okay, looking for the Rip Tower charge on the bottom side. Should be able to get it down. Question is, can they get this turret in time? Kapasiba comes across. A beautiful trade back to Sentinel Embrace. Pulls them back in. Chains of Corruption comes across. Primary Cyclone used, but they managed to find a disengage back. Turret still dishing out damage. Now the secondary Cyclone comes across. Looking to take down the remaining members here on Furious Gaming. Pressure dives back to the back line looking for Jash. But Jash survives and takes Pressure down.
Gamelord doing it right now. They took that turret, they won that fight, and Lonely Kid was there for them as well. Much, much better rotations this time than last time. Libra did get that free turret in the Baron lane, however, but it doesn't matter. This is what you gotta do as Lonely Kid, right? Like, be there for your team. In case Gamelord lost that fight, it would have been Lonely Kid that saved the fight right there. So here you can see it, right? Lonely Kid walking in the mid lane. Meanwhile, unfortunately, Heste getting caught off guard. He got stunned, so he couldn't use that second ability of his, which would have saved him. And a lot of damage from that Varus as well. Jazz doing a phenomenal job, and Redemption sitting in that front line where he has to be exactly. Brandon, Gamelord could win this.
Gamelord's in a good spot. They could very well win this game right now.
Oh yeah, and Ruiz as well. Like, everyone is just on the same pace, and it seems like we have another pause of the game. Sometimes there's these technical issues, but yeah, both teams are into this game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to see how well they're able to pull. Well, to keep things going on the game loss side, Furious Gaming were able to equalize a fair bit. I'm not sure if you managed to see it, but Libra managed to catch back up in gold, having the lane free for himself for so long.
And that's the thing that Lonely Kid did sacrifice, however, right? Like, as a Baron laner, you have to think like this. Okay, do I want to get ahead? Or do I want to get my team ahead? So, Lonely Kid took the approach of just fully getting himself ahead in that second game in this last series, and it didn't work. Like, sure, he got ahead, but they lost an Elder Dragon, they lost the game, right? So this time, he completely turned it around, and it's interesting to see Lonely Kid play like this, because I've seen this guy play a lot. He likes to have that, I'm saying egotistical approach, but which basically means, like, just him farming his lane, getting a Hole Breaker, getting turrets, that, you know.
Is that a Baron laner thing?
Basic Baron laner thing, right? Like, a lot of Baron laners do that, but he realized his team needs him, right? Because unfortunately, Zefta's not here. They have Redemption in the jungle, so he's helping them out. And now, Redemption is also showing that he can do it in the jungle. You know what's funny? Because Lonely Kid roamed around, but they didn't even need him this time.
So we finally get to see that interaction with the Baron laner and the rest
They're
of the
finding
game.
a balance.
They're finding a balance. And it is very exciting to see Gamelord improve so dramatically from the last time we've seen them today.
Yeah.
Again, in the playing stage.
Definitely, like, a team can improve so much in just a few days, right? Like, they were watching their games, what happened, and they were talking with their coach, like, okay, guys, what do we need to change? And you can really feel it. Like, you can really feel it when a team sat back, watched their game, and improved. Their coach told Lonely Kid, okay, listen, we know your name is Lonely Kid, but you're not gonna be as lonely anymore because that unfortunately didn't work. So you gotta rotate, and we can kind of see him trying to force it a little bit as well because he did lose that one turret for free. Because at the end of the day, they didn't need Lonely Kid with that Rift Herald push. He rotated, sure, good idea, but they didn't need him during that one, so he should have actually stayed. So as I said, like, it's all about finding that balance, but they don't really have time to find a balance because if they lose this, they go home.
Exactly, and so. Better trying than not.
Right.
At least if you are making those moves to go down to the bomb side, maybe you show up and you are needed and you win the fight. That's better than being off on the top side. You save the turret, but your team gets wiped alone.
It's like the same story as Unsold Stuff Gaming, right? Like, they have that one thing that works for them, which is that late game scaling playstyle. But if it doesn't work, you gotta change up. We saw them not changing up, so they lose. They just kept losing the games. So it's good to see Gamelord actually changing it up. And that makes me even more excited to watch this series, right? Especially if this goes to a 3-game series. Because we're probably going to see a lot of different kinds of things from Gamelord. Are we maybe going to see Lonely Kid on a tank? Or are we maybe going to see him on an assassin? Like, I don't know what we're going to see. And that's the beauty of Gamelord right now. Because after this game, Furious Gaming won't know either. And just, yet again, just giving a massive shout out to that coach from Gamelord right now. Like, he's doing such a good job just, showing Furious Gaming, they can play it all. You don't know what to ban out against us.
Talking about what we cannot see, what we don't know what's going to happen, I want to talk and ask your opinion about something we do see now, this Echo. Echo mid lane here for pressure. So far, what are your expectations and how's it looked for you so far?
He can play it, okay? You saw it. He stunned Ruiz multiple times. And this is not an easy ability to hit, especially against a pro player like Ruiz. But he did it consistently already early on in the game. This is the moment where Echo is at his weakest. And he's already been showing he's already showing that he's on the map right now, right? He's not playing it safe. He's not just farming. He's already going in. So can you imagine what the hell is going to happen in the late game? Like, once he reaches those item power spikes, when he gets 3, 4, 5 items, that ultimate could potentially one-shot the entire lineup of Gamelord.
It is a problem that you have to deal with. You constantly need to keep an eye on where you could have pressure jump back in. We saw him nearly take down Jash in the bomb side dive, and so... Well, once he has another item.
So another interesting champion to talk about is Karma on Ruiz. Because we've seen Ruiz play the Lulu before, where he kind of funnels into his team. Karma is a bit of a similar champion, right? Because she has that third ability, she has that shielding for his teammates. If Lonely Kid is going to be roaming around all the time, he as a Karma can constantly give those shields to him. And if that happens, Lonely Kid is going to be stronger during a team fight, and he's going to be doing even more damage. And also Redemption on that Wukong, right? Like, he can shield him. He goes in, Redemption, boom, you throw in the Karma shield, you throw in the Wukong ultimate, you throw in the Karma ultimate. Like, they could even potentially win in the late game against Furious Gaming. They just have to play it right, Grandin.
Of course, you see here on your screen, it's your players.
It's Ruiz. This is the guy. This is the Karma player right here. He always plays with a lot of emotion. When we were in Europe, like, the one that screamed the most was Ruiz. Like, I would be casting the games, and I would hear Ruiz scream through my headphones. So I'm sure throughout these games, you'll hear him scream as well, and it's like the funniest thing ever. And it gives his team so much energy. Like, you can see that when they win those team fights, they're all so hyped up, and it's because of this guy right here, Ruiz. So having a lot of emotion is also such a good thing in this game right now, because, if your team is feeling a bit down, you're down 1-0, but then you get a few kills, and when you hear Ruiz scream in your ear, you'll be hungry for even more blood, and you'll be hungry for the series again.
So he's in-game support with the Karma.
I mean, he's out-game support.
And he's out-game support. He's just an overall big support. He's a big buff.
Everyone can hear him. The production, the casters, everyone will hear this guy. When, like, I can promise you right now, if there is a moment where Ruiz gets a few kills at the end of the game, where they secure an Elder Dragon, where they win the entire thing, like, you'll hear him. Anyone right here will hear him.
If you're in the building right now.
Maybe even in your house. Like, the microphones are going to pick him up.
Hopefully, you won't be able to hear that. Tons of energy here from Gamelord. Of course, we just need to get things resolved. Hearing there were some issues with disconnects, but we will get that back sorted for you guys and jump back into game real soon.
I have a fun fact for you, Grandin.
Okay, fire away.
Everyone hates Kill, as in, like, no one wants to see a Kill in his team anymore, because unfortunately,
I hate Kill.
She got nerfed so hard, right?
Yeah.
But Furious Gaming, who's playing today, these guys are kill players. And you know who plays it? Prusher. The guy that we've been talking about all day. This guy has played the kill. So if we see that Akali come through from Lonely Kid, because kill actually hard counters those types of assassin champions, we could see a kill.
I don't know, House. I know, like, in theory, this might be good, but I can't say I want to see it.
I'm just getting my hopes up, you know?
I can't say I want to see it.
I'm the guy that loves late game scaling champions. That's why I love seeing Senna Nasus. And that's why I was screaming in the back when I saw the Veigar picks as well. Unfortunately, it didn't work for Unsold stuff, but doesn't matter. I was happy. These are the types of champions.
They'll make it work eventually.
Right. And then Kill was one of my favorite ones. When Kill came out, I played it so much. And like when in the hands of the right player, when she skills into that late game, man, she is strong. But that also shows another thing, that Prusher knows how to skill into the late game. If this guy can play kill into professional teams, he'll be able to play anything and skill into the late game. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, this guy is able to skill into the late game as an Echo. He's even able to play aggressively in the early game. And wow, just wow, what a player.
Well, you sound definitely very excited for Prusher. I think you guys want to hear a little bit more. Let's take a look and listen at what Prusher had to say for his last games getting into Day 4 play-ins.
Soy Prusher, el medio de Furious Gaming. Es rara la sensación, como que estamos tristes por perder, pero contentos por el desempeño que dimos también. Entonces creo que dimos un buen espectáculo y mejor de lo que todo el mundo esperaba de nosotros, incluso nosotros mismos. Entonces, si bien se nos queda la espina de que nos quedamos cerca de ganar, creo que el balance es positivo. Nosotros siempre fuimos muy seguros, somos seguros de nuestras capacidades, de lo que podemos dar y lo que no. Y de hecho hoy nos superamos a nosotros mismos. Entonces es un boost de confianza para todo lo que queda del torneo y para nuestros siguientes enfrentamientos. Creo que son los que estamos más parecidos a nuestro nivel. Y pienso que juegan un estilo muy diferente a nosotros. Entonces va a ser un choque de estilos interesante, con un nivel de juego similar. Entonces tengo muchas expectativas por ese partido y claramente es nuestra prueba de fuego y nuestro rival a vencer. Voy por vos, Ruiz. Te tengo en la mira.
Oh yeah, he's coming for Ruiz indeed. Yeah, and yet again, like, these are both players with a lot of emotion, right? It's so fun to see. Like, a lot of these players don't have as much emotion, especially the Chinese teams that we saw play. But when you have these two players with a lot of emotion...
You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because they're robots meant to win.
And
I am...
No, this is too easy for them.
I am the Wild Rift pro player. I'm programmed to only win. I do not need emotion. Emotion makes me lose games.
Honestly, that's what it felt like. They played so well that you could even say these guys are robots. But I'm sure we'll see emotion from them. But when are we going to see that? Later in the tournament. When they're up against the top teams, that's when the Chinese teams are really going to be challenged. But these guys right now, you know, when you have two mid laners with that much emotion in them, it makes the game even more fun. Like, it's not just the actual game that you want to watch. You actually want to see the cams of the players as well, right? Like, when something happens, when one of them outplays each other, you kind of want to see their reactions.
Something to look forward to when we get back into this one. How Ruiz and Prusher are able to play out this rivalry. First and last time, I think they will play each other.
Yeah, it is the last time. Because if one of the teams loses, they go home. So this is it, right? Like this. And we saw that Prusher was very excited to be playing up against Ruiz. So, yeah, prove it now. You have 2 or 3 games to prove that you are the better mid laner. If you don't, then you just go home. And you gotta wait for the next Icons, you gotta wait for the next Worlds tournament, which both players may not even attend. Talking about that, however, Ruiz, he has already attended a World stage, right? Like, this guy is familiar with the stage, and he performs when he has to. So, like, he doesn't have nerves in these games. So he plays exactly how he plays at home. He plays exactly how he plays at his best. So that's the one thing that GameLord does have with them. And then also Redemption, you know, multiple titles. He's played multiple different games, multiple different roles. That's why he is the guy that's swapping roles, by the way, and not anyone else. Because he's played so many different roles and everything, and you can see it. He's pulling it off right now as well.
I mean, Hells, you spend so much time making content based on the plays of these guys. You know, I see you on my Twitter feed all the time, breaking down the game for me. Now you are here with them, and you are breaking down the gameplay live as it is happening. I mean, how has that changed for you?
That's amazing, because I already know so much about these players, and to see them play live and to give my live reactions to it, right? Like, I knew this was happening, but also seeing surprises, right? Like, seeing surprises is what makes it super fun as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this game evolves, how the drafts are going to be evolving, how the series evolves. I'm saying evolves, we will only have 2 or 3 games between these teams, but a crazy thing as well during these tournaments is like drafts can evolve like crazy. Like in Europe, for example, no one used to pick Singed, but then after a few series, everyone was like first picking Singed, and now here we can see it as well, right? Like Singed got banned as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how the draft evolves, especially in this game, because GameLord picked so many different kinds of champions, and they're showing right now that they can pull it off. So it's going to be a very hard draft for Furious Gaming to do, even if they win this game.
No, look, I recall seeing some Shyvana being played.
Oh my god, no.
Like, I saw it happen, kind of what happened there. Like, how did we get from we're playing good, standard, principled Wild Rift to let me play some Shyvana, guys.
Yeah, there's a few champions that are really hard to play in the current meta, with Shyvana being one of them. You know, she's not that powerful right now, and she needs dragons. So what teams can do, they can just pick aggressive junglers like the Lee Sin and just completely destroy her and counter out. But there are going to be drafts where it's possible, and that's where I feel like GameLord has to win this game. And they have been doing a good job with it up until now. Their third game, third good draft. So, I just want to see these teams play, man. I just want to see what's going to happen in this game.
A lot said, but a lot to be seen here as GameLord. We go back in the game. Quick refresher, 5-2, up with the kill lead right now. GameLords looking to pressure down Furious Gaming, keep the momentum going.
Oh yeah, and Furious Gaming picked up that first objective, but it's fine. Whoa,
Pressure.
there it is. No, there it is. Pressure killed Ruiz.
The Pressure Echo combo.
Yeah, the Pressure Echo combo. He just destroyed Ruiz right there. We were just talking about it and it happened. And here we can see as well, we're talking about Jash being in the mid and he's able to 1v2 that Sen and Nasus combo, right? Like, he won't have any trouble with it. This is the good thing about GameLord's draft right here. He's going to be able to just push out that wave very, very easily, and Heste is going to be roaming around.
Of course, just being able to manage waves could be an issue if GameLords aren't able to get anything else done. Heste moving down the bottom end. We see big rotations from both sides.
Oh, there's going to be a big fight happening right there. I can feel it. Both teams are going to want to fight, and Heste goes in!
Beautiful pull to get the showstopper, to bring Kapusiba back. Echo stealing away the Krugs, and Heste pushes him back off.
Oh, that was good. That was a clean one. Heste just ulted Kapusiba right there, and they killed him for free. Just with a beautiful follow-up right there. This is one of the combos that can work from GameLords. And as we look into a replay right there about how Ruiz died, unfortunately he stepped up just a bit too far, but yet again, Brusher was able to hit that stun right there and secure that kill for Furious Gaming.
I mean, something they've been able to do consistently, but I want to kind of draw attention to now the gold gap shrinking here. Furious Gaming being able to claw back very well.
These teams are very close to each other right now, and that's not a good thing for GameLord. This is a very good thing for Furious Gaming, because as we said before, Furious Gaming scales very, very well into the late game with this composition. GameLord is still gonna have a few ways to just blow up a champion for Furious. GameLord is gonna be able to blow up a champion for Furious Gaming because they have that set, right? Like, he can ult someone, then you have the follow-up from the Varus, and GameLord is picking up a free Rift Herald right now.
Yeah, Furious Gaming not here to contest that. There is 10 seconds still till the Dragon is up, so maybe a little bit too preemptive to move over to the Dragon.
And this is gonna help GameLord as well. This is gonna help them contest this Dragon because they're either gonna get the mid lane, or they are gonna get the mid lane turret. But are they though?
But are they?
They are. Yeah, there you go. So now they also have an advantage during the Dragon. GameLord playing a beautiful macro game right now.
Absolutely. Being able to set themselves up here and then forcing Furious Gaming off the Dragon.
Oh, Brusher! Ooh, he nearly caught Jash right there.
That parallel conversions could very well be the fight starter, but it looks like Redemption is going to perform that role instead. Lonely gets out to dash in, flash away from Libra.
Oh, wow. Both teams are kind of playing safe, but those Varus arrows, look at those Varus arrows, just constantly rushing through Furious Gaming, dealing so much damage. But it seems like GameLord is gonna be on the backhand regardless, but they're gonna go for the fight again.
All right, hunting for the kill, looking to engage, and Send Embrace comes in, and a beautiful pull, face breaker, engage out from Heste. Now GameLords get to run them down, side of flashes over the wall. Redemption still over by the side, gets the Nimbus strike onto Pressure, taking down 3.
What a beautiful fight by GameLord right there. Heste just doing an absolutely phenomenal job with that ultimate, and Ruiz following up with a Karma ultimate too. Absolutely no chance of Furious Gaming right there. Oh my god, this is the GameLord that we want to see. And as we look at this, I mean, look at that. Oh my god, Heste going in, stunning 3 people, followed up by the Varus. Just no chance from Furious Gaming.
And they got what they came in here for. They got the Dragon as well. winning the fight, winning the dragon, continuing to scale up.
Oh, they got everything. They got everything. This is what GameLord has to do against Furious Gaming. They can't allow Furious Gaming to scale for free. This is the pressure they need. They got Rift Herald, they got mid turret, they got Dragon, they got everything right now. They actually got 3 turrets as opposed to the 2 turrets that Furious Gaming has, and GameLord still has that all-important mid lane turret.
Being able to hold on to the mid lane stops Furious from being able to push through, get into the jungle, and of course now we get to see Lonely Kid in a very powerful spot.
Oh, that damage! Wow! That's a lot of damage, Grandin.
That's like 1,000 gold up, but that doesn't look that way.
Yeah, but Fiora is a champion that is very good in 1v1s, right? Like, as Grandin said, he's not up that much gold, but this is the power of Fiora. This is what Fiora can do. Those 1v1s are always gonna be in his favor.
And so something for Furious Gaming to watch out for. Can Libra hold his own against Lonely Kid in the side lane while the rest of his team going to be pulled around the map? Between the Baron, between the mid lane, between the top lane. So many things Furious Gaming need to get done.
I just love the rotations from GameLord right now. Here they get another turret and they're gonna be like, look at this. This is just perfect. They're getting turret after turret, objective after objective, kill after kill. They're getting everything right now, Grandin.
But Furious Gaming maybe looking for a re-engage, trying to punish the opponents. But Game Lords will have none of it. They walk away.
Yeah, and Brewster is looking for the kill, but it didn't work, unfortunately.
Trying to assassinate his opponent, but there is no kill to be found here. Just looking for a couple of spells across as Furious Gaming start the kite away.
Wow, and here, wow, the fight keeps going.
They might actually go for the fight. Hesse leads the start with it, with the Showstopper pulling that back in with the Facebreaker, trying to finish off their first target, but Hesse goes down a little bit too ambitious. Libra comes in. A huge shield onto Ruiz. He's still alive.
There's Lonely
now
Kid.
It's time for Lonely Kid to play his own game. Dancing in between 3 from Furious Gaming. Prussia trying to chase after for a kill, but he does not have vision. And there we have it, a triple kill for Jash.
And Jash showing what he's made of. This guy is not a substitute. This guy is a main player. It doesn't matter. Triple kill from Jash. Unfortunately, Lonely Kid was just a tad bit too late during the team fight, and Libra did a phenomenal job on that Olaf, using his Ragnarok to absolutely run down GameLord right there. So, you know, yet again, we can see the problems that GameLord is having right now. Lonely Kid not rotating around a lot. This is what I like, however. Before I can talk about it, taking a quick look at the team fight again. So, here you can see it. They caught Brusher. GameLord caught Brusher right here. He flashed out just barely, but here we can see it, right? Like, Libra is there. Lonely Kid is not there yet. And this is what cost GameLord this, well, it cost them a free win. Heste yet again with a beautiful engage. But look, everyone gets CC'd except for that Olaf. And that is the one guy that is gonna be running you down in the team fight.
And you just see Lonely Kid running in now at this point, ready to clean it up.
Oh yeah, and he did clean up. Like, he did clean up. And what I was gonna talk about is his build. He went for the Hull Breaker. I talked about it. When he plays like he played in that second game in his first series, he needs a Hull Breaker. He has it now, which means they have to change their playstyle. And you can see Brusher this time is getting brushed back.
Okay. The power of that joke was too much for even Christian to handle.
I am so sorry. GameLord looking for a bit of trouble right here. But look at this. Lonely Kid, right? Libra cannot deal with Lonely Kid. That turret is gonna fall down. I'm telling you, if enough time gets wasted right here by GameLord, that turret is gonna die.
It is a matter of time here as we start to see teams positioned around the Baron. Looking for the kill onto Redemption. It's Redemption trading back. Prussia heals back up with his ultimate.
I actually kind of want to see what the hell is happening between Lonely Kid and Libra, because Lonely Kid is going to be applying so much pressure on Libra. It seems like he's disengaging right now, but this is what GameLord has to do. But Lonely Kid actually has a proto belt. I would have loved to see him with the teleport boots. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be going for that. And the reason that I'm saying it, because he's going to be able to constantly split push if he does that. And he's going to be able to teleport to his team when they need him. This is the one way you can win this game very, very easily right now, especially with that Elder Dragon spawning. If you put Lonely Kid in the Baron lane, constantly push the lane, teleport when a fight happens, they could just win this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think with Game Lords right now, they're feeling pretty comfortable about their current chances. 6,000 gold up.
Oh yeah, and also Jash sitting on 12.8 thousand gold, playing a perfect Varus right now. 3-on-0-1-4. Brusher looking for an engage. Doesn't find it. There is a control ward sitting very comfortably for GameLord right there right now.
Would be very nice for Furious Gaming to get the dragon. Redemption looking for cheeky low engage. The rest of his team far away, so he's not going to
Whoa, the damage from Varus. Look at Brusher. He just took half of his health.
Meanwhile, Lonely Kid gets to do his thing up in the top side, starting to chip away at the turret. Libra there to try and match that.
Oh yeah, and we can see it. Prusher is just constantly looking for aggression, and there he goes.
They're moving in onto Ruiz. Prusher ults back to safety.
And that is not a good thing for Furious Gaming. That one ability you really need, and you can see it. Lonely Kid is fighting Libra.
Libra trying to get the kill onto little Lonely Kid. Lonely Kid trying to do the
Libra
same,
died
but
as
it's
well.
going to be Lonely Kid that comes out victorious. Meanwhile, the fight breaks out by the mid lane. Sata still very tanky, soaks up the damage from Game Lords, but Game Lords get control.
Lonely Kid killed Libra under his turret while all this happened. This is what happens when you get that whole breaker on the Fiora. You can't beat her, especially if you're an Olaf. You just can't beat her. You can see right now, even trying to take away the red jungle, he's... he got it.
He got it in the end.
That was very close.
Walking in, Echo tried to prevent that from going down, but the top side turret over to Game Lords as well. And so while they were having the Dragon Dance, Game Lords were able to find more gold towards the top side of the map.
I just feel like Furious Gaming doesn't have enough time to skill. The Elder Dragon is already up. They're gonna have to fight this one. Like, you can see it, Game Lord is wandering around it a little bit. Lonely Kid is sitting on 4.5 items as well, granted. And Jash as well, sitting on 4 items. Like, these are many more items than Furious Gaming have right now.
But I want to bring back focus to what Furious Gaming were able to get done before. All odds against them, against their toughest opponents.
Furious can't see anything, you see that? They can't see
No
anything.
vision here. So Game Lords get to work away at Dragon. Dragon, no vision still. Redemption comes through. They're initially looking for a fight. There we have it. Flash in, looking for the pick off. Hesse goes in, and Transcendent Embrace comes through as well. Ultimate used by Capital Siva, giving his team a shield as they manage to start kiting away. Over by the back, Jazz still trying to finish off his first target, but he's distracted, caught in between multiple. Rest of his team, Lonely Kid, won't be able to take down Echo. Prusher has gone down. Libra still alive, but falls after taking down Jash.
Game Lord, you got this. This is the EU team we want to see. We want to see some wins. They're going to get this Elder Dragon for free. And if Kapasiba wants to get some of it, he's going to die. This is just a free Elder Dragon. And I don't want to say this secures the win yet. You know, I'm getting a little too excited. But, you know, it is an Elder Dragon, sure.
You don't want to get the fans' hopes up and let it not happen.
Well, I'm a big fan, and my hopes are up, so, you know, I can share my hopes with my fans right there, with the fans of Europe, I mean, right there. So as we look into this replay, this was just no chance for Furious Gaming. You can see it has to yet again, just doing it on that set, and Redemption following up beautifully with his ultimate. And meanwhile, it's Jash sitting on that bottom right, but ooh, we can see Game Lord looking for him more.
Double teleport coming through for Furious Gaming as they start to run back towards the jungle. Game Lord need to start moving away.
Yeah, they need to move away. This is dangerous. You can see, even though they got the Elder Dragon, Furious Gaming still has that potential to win this game.
Absolutely, but that was double teleports expanded here by Furious Gaming. They held on the third one with Libra, but they were prepared to fight tooth and nail for the Baron.
So Lonely Kid has an Elder Dragon, 5 items, Protobelt, and he's probably gonna kill Prusher right there. There's no way that he escapes, right? Yeah.
That's a Rocket Bell difference, it's a Protobelt difference, as he chases after Pressure. We'll see the parallel conversions stopped by the repost, but Lonely Kid having a hard time chasing after a very slippery Pressure.
And I'm expecting Lonely Kid to split push regardless of the Baron being up, because as I said, no one in this game can 1v1 Lonely Kid. All Redemption is looking for it, but unfortunately not able to get it. But Lonely Kid, he's gonna be the biggest problem from Furious Gaming right now. I can guarantee you that Furious Gaming is probably gonna ban out Fiora. It's funny because he never played it up until the world stage, and I predicted this one. It was not necessarily a bold prediction, but I predicted it.
I mean, that debut's doing so much work for Game Lords right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Jash as well on that Varus, like, he just has to stay safe. His positioning has been beautiful. They still have that mid lane turret too, so they always have that safety net to run back to. And Libra, unfortunately, just desperately defending that turret right there. I like, oh, Prusher is backing him up right now, but can only get 1v2.
Pressure coming in here. They're looking for this first kill. Repulse comes through. Libra taking good damage. Lonely Kid still chasing after Flash. Back on the turret. Goes down. But he still has Guardian Angel. Pressure trying to chase after. Now the parallel convergence goes to the wrong side. Won't be able to land.
He's not
still
gonna
trying
die.
to trade back against the Echo. Will not go down. Meanwhile, fight continues. The Flash is over the wall. They committed for the fight. SH chasing after a kill. They find one. Looking for a second. Echo might go down. Sartre left alone to his own devices will fall to the efforts of GLD. And in the base, you have Lonely Kid prepared to end the game. Pressure went down. Lonely Kid on the Nexus, taking this one down. 1-0, going over to Game Lords with a full team ace.
GG, that is 1-0 for Game Lord. And what a phenomenal victory right there. I am so incredibly happy as an EU person myself, but also seeing Game Lord win a game like this, because we didn't expect it. We didn't expect it.
Well, I mean, Game Lords had the chance going into this. But Furious Gaming were looking on form
Oh,
after
yeah.
their previous wins. But Game Lords honestly impressed all of us, showed us a very powerful performance starting this one off.
Furious Gaming won a game against Nova, and Game Lord just destroyed them. Does this make sense? This is a different Game Lord, granted. This is not the Game Lord that arrived here. This is a whole different, evolved Game Lord right now.
The evolved form of Game Lords. You love to see it.
Oh yeah, you love to see it indeed. This is what I want to see as an EU fan.
Reviving EU fans' hopes. EU still has this. EMEA.
They just gotta win one more game, right? It's not over yet. We've seen it happen many times where a team makes a comeback, and a team like Furious Gaming, these guys are able to make comebacks as well.
You made your prediction. You said Game Lord were gonna win at least one game.
I said it, yeah.
You did. You were correct so far. We need to see them go one more. Else, you think they have that in them?
So now, yes, but of course I can't change my prediction. My prediction was just they're gonna win one because, you know, they have these really good drafts. They have a really good coach. Again, like, man, without this coach, they wouldn't be able to do it. This is the problem they had in Europe because they were having a bit of struggles with the drafts. Unfortunately, the coach could not attend the tournament, so they were actually playing without a coach.
Yeah.
They were not playing as well as they could. So seeing them now with a coach, be a bit more confident, you know, they've evolved their gameplay. This is the Game Lord we know.
And this is the Game Lord that we want to see in the competition. We're going to toss it back over to the analyst. That's Digon. Hell says his team is going to win one more. What do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts.
I think no matter what, they surprised us with the win there. Furious Gaming do not get the W there, like what we all predicted here. It's
All
Game
three of us.
Yeah.
Game Lord coming out on top, and it all starts with the draft. And Riku, you wanted to dive in there because we saw that it was the Nasus getting taken away, the Senna getting taken away, and then the Kazakhs, which was a pull away here.
Yeah, a lot of strong picks, right, when we look at the draft of Furious Gaming. But when we look over at Game Lords, there's a lot of heavy engage. Set and Wukong just so easily able to, you know, dictate the pace of the game, start fights. And on the other side, Furious Gaming, how are you going to start fights? Yes, you've got the Olaf that presses R, but nothing that can help assist him enter the fight.
And so often it is Libra for this team that starts fights. Not only is he stuck on Olaf, but he also got blown out of lane because of the performance of Lonely Kid in the top side. Libra was behind the entire game. There was no way to start those fights, even if the Olaf is in good position.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? It started off at the early game. I feel like there were two things happening at the same time. There was a big duel at the top portion of the map with Libra and Lonely Kid, and meanwhile you got Redemption starting fights all over the place.
They were playing their own fighting game, and then the rest of the team was doing exactly what we said they had to do. They were forcing fights early, especially with that draft. Game Lord needed to take fights, and they needed to take them on their terms. Furious Gaming were trying to stall out that game, last until the Senna Nasus came online. They just didn't.
Yeah, I feel like you're totally right, TJ. It's like we have to move now because the Kazakhs is going to scale, we got the Senna Nasus that's going to scale. But on the other side of the spectrum, it's so smart that Lonely Kid was on this Fiora because that means they can do a 4-1 split push and have at least that late game insurance.
And I want to flag out Hesta in particular.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we're talking about starting these fights. He is a huge part of that, and he's playing like this really aggressive support roaming style that's very familiar if you've watched other mobile esports, if you watch especially Asian teams in other mobile esports. It's this idea that, okay, I'm playing support. The way that Gold Game works in these mobile MOBAs, I don't need to be tied to the lane.
Right.
I don't need to be farming minions or tagging them like with Relic, Shield, and PC. I can be anywhere on the map at any time, contributing to any lane.
Right, and specifically for Hesta, they called it out on the broadcast. He was 0-6 in the series before, where he was not having any impact. Just saw a team fight there where that was the only time one of his engages gave Furious Gaming a little bit more
You're
life.
calling him out? You picked the one he got wrong?
The one? Well, that's the time that you gave back to me. All the replay was playing, and you guys were like,
it's my
team
fault.
composition, the Senna, and all that good stuff. Everybody. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When actually very reminiscent, and actually could be the answer against I have to say it again, against WRL teams that like to dive your top laner. It's the best answer. You have a wave clear bot lane like the Varus in this case. Let your support roam mid, top, doesn't matter. You help assist whoever is alone.
Yeah, I feel like Furious Gaming's draft here just asked way too much of Pusher yet again, but this time to also be the engage, right? The parallel convergence was the main way on in, other than Olaf popping ult and trying to run in. Like, there was no way to hold someone down here, and that proved to be such a big issue for them, and Game Lord just taking full advantage of it. And I'm not sure if you all at home could hear it. Every single time there was a team fight, it was a pop-off by Ruiz, by
Yeah.
Redemption, and then there was always one more person, couldn't figure out who it was, that would laugh after every pop-off, be like, ah, haha. It was every time. It was great, and so this Game Lord squad with great mental going into it, and even though, you know, like, not everything went perfectly, they very much snowballed and took this victory here.
And I want to flag kind of the other side of that. You know, you're talking about winning early team fights. Obviously, the engage is a huge part of that. But also, this is why you draft Varus. Because if you're going to play this style with a roaming support on the map, be it Yumi, Karma, or be it, in this case, a Set, you need someone who can stay alive in that lane. A Varus, very good pick for that, as we were talking about at the beginning of the day. Also, very good in these team fights because he is on another screen. He is playing a different game. He's in solo queue. And there was no way during those fights for Furious Gaming with the composition they drafted to reliably access that backline damage dealer. He did the most damage in the game, and you could see that.
All right, well, that was game number 1. Now, before we get to game number 2, I know all of you at home think you've got the skills to be on this stage right here. And I know this because you sent us your best Wild Rift clips using the hashtag #RiftPopOff. Now, we're going to take a look at how well our global influencers play on the Rift. It's time to see your skills in our Coca-Cola Wild Reactions. Let's take a look at some of the biggest players we had. And we have a couple of influencers here from Brazil. This is Teals popping off with the Aurelia.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Wow, the flawless duet dashing in under the tower, by the way. That was so, well, flawless, I gotta say.
Wow.
You can't do that, Riku.
No.
And so much of the Aurelia in those fights is all about getting up close and landing the auto attacks to lifesteal through things like tower shots.
This one we have Akamoto on the Sona, who had a couple of big heals that basically didn't take any damage here, too.
Yeah, people don't realize, but Sona is kept alive by her heal. It's a huge self-shield, so very well timed.
It is.
Lastly here, we have a couple of clips here from After Rift from the LATAM region, hitting it not with the double, but the Assassinato 3.
That was a triple kill.
Try it again, Digon. Run it back.
This, Digon.
Assassinato.
Oh, there you go.
Assassinato.
Assassinato.
Assassinato. There we go. A couple of triple kills there, and then one final clip here on the Echo. The parallel convergences.
That's what they were missing.
Yeah.
That's the big parallel convergence they were missing.
That's insane, right? We got to see sets like this one.
Oh.
My God, into the shockwave. It's just the wombo combo is just something that we don't usually see in the icons, but it looks so well here in this clip.
All right, well, we salute you, and don't forget to submit your own clips using the hashtag #RiftPopOff. Cheers. You like that?
I ran out of. He didn't.
Me too.
He didn't finish it either.
All right, there we go. The players are set for game number 2, so let's send it back to Grandin and Hell's Devil.
Well, the Death is having a lot of fun. We are as well. We're getting ready for game number 2 as the draft is going to come underway. You had some moments as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see them, Hells. Where can we see them?
Sona stole that Elder Dragon with Redemption. You guys didn't see that. That was probably the best one out of all of it. It happened once to me where I was dead.
It happened to you.
No, I did it. I was dead.
You did it.
Yeah, I was dead as a support, and I stole an Elder Dragon with Redemption. That's the best feeling. I can guarantee you, if it hasn't happened yet, that is the best feeling you can ever have in Wild
See, that
Rift.
sounds like an urban myth. I need some evidence here. I
got it for you. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
You have the clip. All right.
Talking about this draft, it's going to be super interesting because, you know, Furious Gaming is probably going to be banning out that Fiora from Lonely Kid. But the question is that going to counter him out? I don't think so.
Yeah, he still has a bunch of other options he could still go for. We saw what the Olaf was supposed to try and get done. It had some strong moments against the Fiora. But there are still so many other strong picks up there.
Like, this is a game of chess, and Game Lord is basically Game Lord has a handicap in their favor. Like, essentially, Furious Gaming is playing without a queen right now, as Glaciox from Game Lord is just gonna completely out. Like, my prediction right here is Game Lord is gonna outdraft Furious Gaming yet again. But the question is, can they win the game again? Is Heste gonna show up again? Because unfortunately, we know it, Heste can have bad games. He can just completely throw games as well as, you know, what he did right there on that set.
I can always appreciate a nice chess analogy. Yeah, there is a lot that can be that we still have to desire from Heste. You know, he had a good performance, but there were also some moments that looked risky for his team. Thankfully, we saw an incredible follow-up from Redemption. So I don't want to criticize Heste too much. I want to say that maybe, this is communication between the team. They've been able to dial in and figure out the level of aggression they need to be going in.
So the reason that I'm criticizing Heste is because he's the best support in Europe. Like, this guy is the best support. What we saw right there on that set, this is supposed to be normal for Heste. He does this always. So that's why I'm saying, like, he has even more than this that he can do. So, but sometimes he just completely fails. And that's the thing about Heste. Is he going to be able to keep up that momentum? Is he going to be able to keep up and win this game? Here he is. This is the guy. This is the Fiora. This is Lonely Kid. You can see he's hungry for that blood. And he's ready. If there is a guy that's ready, this guy is ready right now.
Hells is going to be that parent that no matter what you do, you can never really impress him. You can be the best, but unless you're always on top of your game, Hells is always going to have like, well, I've seen what you could do.
You gotta compare yourself to the WRL teams, right?
Right.
And compared to them, it's not impressive yet. But a few of these teams right now in the plains are gonna be playing up against those WRL teams later. So the question is, like, can they beat them out? The thing that they do have in their favor, however, is they get a little bit more practice right now, right? They're playing on stage, they're getting a little more practice to beat out those titans from China.
I think we will likely see every group in the group stage have one WRL team because they will not be able to play against each other, right? So every group will have one WRL team, and so you must be prepared to go against them.
And hopefully half of the groups are gonna have an EU team as well. You know,
Oh.
seeing Game Lord play right now. Rix is playing later on today as well. At least one of these two should make it out. Both teams are incredible, Game Lord and Rix. And we're waiting for Game Lord to draft right now as well. Like, they have it in them. That's the thing about it. Like, we know Furious Gaming is supposed to win this game, and Furious Gaming is amazing. And but we know Game Lord has it in them. So I want to see Furious Gaming swap it up as well a little bit in the draft. Right? We talked a lot about Game Lord, but I want to see Furious Gaming swap it up as well. And they will not get Xin Zhao. Like, that's the one pick they will pretty much win the game for free on. They will obviously not get it, but I want to go back to that kill because Prusher is the star of this team, right? Like, it's not like Game Lord. This is a team who have an obvious star, which is Prusher. So how many champions can you really ban out against him? Like, you can ban out the Zed, you can ban out the Diana. He played a pretty good Echo right there as well. You can't ban out everything.
All things lead back to the kill.
Oh.
All things lead back to the kill with you.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You just want to see the kill.
I kind of desperately want to see it happen, but for that to happen,
Do you
Game
think
Lord, huh?
now on the elimination stage, it is the time for kill?
So it is time for kill when it is time for kill. And the reason that I'm saying that is because Game Lord does play Akali on Lonely Kid. And if that happens, and if we have another assassin, so if we have Akali and Zed, something like that, that's when kill is gonna come through. But Zed is already gonna get banned out by Game Lord themselves. They don't want to see Prusher on that Zed.
Yeah, we saw how deadly Pressure could be.
Oh yeah.
Even with the Echo, he was still getting a lot of work done, but a very different place now. Much more difficult to enable Pressure in the mid lane. Furious Gaming, we saw what happened last game. They had the Corki ban, they had Lucian ban, taking away those powerful split pushes.
This is the exact same draft. Game Lord is sticking to what worked to them. You know, they don't want to see the Xin Zhao. They don't want to see the Zed. They're betting out the Yuumi as well. They just don't want to see these champions. And I want to see Furious Gaming change it up a little bit. They banned the Wukong, actually. So they do leave that Fiora open. And the thing about Game Lord is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether Fiora's banned or if Fiora's not banned. They can play it all. And Karma's open as well, which I assume is going to be the first pick for Game Lord right now.
Fiora could be up, Karma is up, something they went for as well.
You can't pick Fiora first though, and the reason is because there's so many counters. You have to pick Fiora against those melee champions. So, like, there is no way that Game Lord is gonna pick Fiora than Jace. They picked Jace. Jace was still being left open because Furious Gaming actually prioritized to ban out Wukong, which Redemption played. It's quite a respectable ban, over that Jace.
And Furious Gaming side, we saw him go for the San Nasus last game. This time around, the Varus prioritized, taking that away from Jash. You were pointing out how much damage he did at the end of the last game.
I actually feel like this is more of a, like, picking it away from Jash than picking it from themselves. So Furious Gaming has that Karma, has that Varus. That's a very, very strong and annoying Dragon Lane combo. And Karma could also be flexed into the mid lane. Don't think it's gonna happen because we want to see Prusher on those assassins.
You know, high damage dealers, high skill, mechanical outplays from Pressure. But the Karma comes through for Furious Gaming nonetheless. Kaplasiba has been known to play the enchanters every once in a while.
So, Game Lord needs some good diving against this Varus, right? Like, how are you gonna catch this Varus? Or they need the Ziggs. Like, Ziggs is one of the champions that can outpoke... oh, okay.
Well, there we go, you said it. You can outpoke him.
So, the reason that I mentioned Ziggs is because Ziggs is one of those champions that completely outpokes a Varus. So, you can either get Varus by diving him, or you can get Varus by out-Varusing him, which is outpoking him, and Ziggs does that. So Riven, oh, I want to see Lonely Kid on that Riven. That's the one guy that I want to see play Riven.
No, I mean, he has both options. You could be on the Jace, he could be on the Riven. Either way, some pretty high mechanically intensive champions he could still pop off on.
He'll pop off on any one of them. Like, he has no issue at all adapting. I think we're gonna see him on the Riven. He's showed how incredibly good he's on the Riven. And again, this feels like a denial again. Furious Gaming is pretty much picking that entire composition from GameLord. And again, like, this is what I feel is their weakness right now. Like, they're showing weakness in this draft. They're saying, okay, we're kinda afraid of the Wukong. We're kinda afraid of the Varus. We don't want to see it. You know, we're also kinda afraid of Heste set. We don't want to see it. But GameLord is just picking all different kinds of champions. Glaziox, which is the coach, is telling them, don't worry guys, I got you. You know, he's the father of the team. He's gonna be drafting for them, and he got them. I feel like he got them in this draft.
And a few parts were so instrumental to the win for GameLord, stuff like the Fiora that pairs well with the Karma. If you don't end up getting that, very difficult to run away with the game.
It would be funny to see Furious Gaming if they actually pick the full composition of, well, besides Wukong, but if they actually pick the full composition, if they also pull off that Fiora, which, you know, it could work against GameLord, because Fiora is pretty decent into a Riven, but if Fiora falls behind against the Riven, it's game over. And if there is a guy that you'll fall behind against, it's Lonely Kid.
Very mechanically talented player, Lonely Kid.
Yeah.
Wants to dominate that lane. We saw how that lane matchup went the last time. Libra and Lonely Kid trading kills back and forth, but it was Lonely Kid that came out with the advantage at the end. I'm just holding my breath, waiting for this last ban. I want to see if the Fiora will make its way over the Furious Gaming with this last one.
Interestingly, Furious Gaming bans out the Kai'Sa. So they're actually taking out some of the champion pool of Jazz. You know, they took away the Lucian, the Corki, the Kai'Sa, the Varus as well. So what is Jazz gonna play? I know this guy plays Jinx. I know he plays Tristana. I know he plays those traditional ADCs. We haven't seen much of them yet. But this would be a decent moment to pick them, you know?
Right.
They already have that Ziggs, which could be put on Jash as well, you know, if you want to put Ruiz on a different champion. But GameLord just has a lot. Oh, there is the Diana, by the way. I drop everything that I'm saying. This is the assassin that we want to see on Prusher.
Banned last time here by GameLords, and so now the Diana will make its way and debut in game number 2. Full pressure on Furious Gaming, and the response now on GameLord's side. How do we deal with the Diana? Do we draft for a longer range? Go for a traditional ADC? What needs to be done here for GameLords?
And the question is Sartre going to be able to do the same thing as Jash did on that Varus? Is he going to be able to 1v2 in the lane? And Galio, this is another one of those aggressive supports that we talked about on Heste. This is what we want to see Heste on, because we know he's going to be roaming around all the time. This is Heste right there. You can see him behind his phone. He's going to be roaming around constantly. It's actually the Thresh!
Oh!
It's going to be a Galio mid. It's gonna be oh, Galio works very well into the Diana. That's also an interesting pickup then.
Yeah, having the magic shield, you already tanky, you get to rotate around a lot. And of course now we get to see Heste on that Thresh.
I don't really like this Kha'Zix pick, however, on Echo. It's just GameLord has the answers to it. They have the, you know, they have the Riven, they have the Galio who can taunt the Kha'Zix. They have the Thresh as well. It just feels like GameLord has the answers to this Kha'Zix. Yet again, like, draft diff, 4th game, and GameLord has a phenomenal draft again.
Sweeping away and switching things up in the last 2 pickups. Furious
There he
Gaming.
is. This is Glaziox. This is the coach that is the mastermind behind this team. You know, we gotta give him so much credit for this. He's like, I would actually say he's like half of the wins of GameLord. Like, if they win, it's 50% because of him. Like, he's constantly been winning them these drafts. He's setting them up for success right here. And yet again, he set them up for success in this game. And all they gotta do is win 1 game, Grandin.
One more game.
One more game.
And they get their prize to go up against Flash Wolves.
Oh.
Where Glaziox and the rest of GameLord definitely have the work cut out for them. But for now, elimination match, 1 game away. Furious Gaming need to turn this one back around.
So, Kapasiba is playing a good champion as well to counter out. You know, he's playing that set to counter out Heste. He needs to be countering his rotations by out-rotating him. But Heste is one of those players, you're not going to out-rotate him unless he has a bad game. So, you know, Furious Gaming has to be lucky, or they truly have to beat out GameLord. And I hope to see them beat out GameLord, as in, like, I want to see both teams on top of their game.
Well, we have to see if they will be able to maintain that.
It's a Karma. It's a Karma in the support.
Yeah, Kapasiba will be playing the Karma. We've seen him play the Enchantress before, and Pressure, of course, on that Diana now. You said last game that Furious Gaming had a late game composition. GameLords did not let them get to that point. What the Furious Gaming have this time around?
So, I feel it's a bit the same in the late game. It's just Ruiz has to be able to cancel out Pusher, because if there's one win condition Furious Gaming does have, it's of course that Diana in the late game. When Diana engages, she does so much damage. And the thing that Furious Gaming has, which is very good, is when Diana goes in, everyone wants to run away, right? Because she's gonna ult, so everyone wants to run away. But what happens when everyone flashes away, runs away? They're gonna be isolated. So Echo on that Kha'Zix jumps in. That is the idea of the composition. We can see Ruiz and Pusher fighting it out, however, not necessarily getting a kill.
Ignite down and damage across. But it's the
Oh!
bottom side that sees more action.
Oh, they nearly got him!
Hunting for a kill onto Sather. An auto attack away, but it's the honey fruits that make the difference.
Oh man, we're just gonna get Thresh Nightmares every single day. First it's from Mana Freezer, and now it's gonna be from Heste. Is Heste gonna be able to pull off the Mana Freezer special onto Thresh as well? Or is
That was
he even,
terrifying, by the way.
Is he even gonna be able to change the name to the Heste special?
Something to look out for. As we already started to see Heste rotating around. You said you liked how he was able to move around last game.
And he's moving around again. You can see him, he's going to that Baron lane, and Lonely Kid is looking for that fight. But Echo is there as well.
He's pulling in attention from Echo, flashing with the death sentence, and looking for the kill on the Libra. Gets the first blood with the rotation out from Heste.
And he does it! He does it! Heste roaming around, showing that it's not only Mana Freezer that plays a beautiful Thresh. He roams around, gets a free kill for Lonely Kid, which we know is not the guy you want to give a kill for.
Running away with the game with any advantage given to him. That's the Lonely Kid special.
Ooh, Ruiz nearly got caught out right there. Damn. And we actually see Jash against Sartor in the bot lane right now. This is like a very, very passive lane matchups. Very likely we're gonna see Kappa, Siba, and Heste both on the support roles constantly roam around. Because both these champions that they have, while I'm talking though, Heste is looking for Sartor right here.
Yeah, Sartor still has his flash.
Yeah,
but gets
it.
hooked by the death sentence. The exhaust comes across for now. Trying to trade back against the Varus, but remember, no honey fruit this time around.
Again, 1
Eerie,
HP.
The difference.
He's on 1 HP again. Sartor has been incredibly lucky this game. Heste was able to hit that hook, and it's actually... Oh, Redemption is waiting for this one, though. I don't think Lonely Kid is going to be able to bait out Libra, but Heste...
Again, coming through from Echo as they make their way down to the bottom end. Then sentence comes across, and Heste, he's still alive!
It's the
Missing
game.
the honey fruits.
It's the game of 1 HPs. Everyone is staying at 1 HP. It's crazy. There's no... Like, during this entire game, there's only...
Pressure.
Oh.
Here for the dive, and it's Ruiz that comes in to prevent it from happening.
He actually saved Heste right there. You
that
see that?
magic damage shield.
Yeah. He saved Heste. Furious Gaming is waiting for GameLord to check out right there. If GameLord goes into that bush, they could be in trouble.
This is intense. They have no idea how low Echo is right now, and so we're not able to move in for a kill.
I love how Redemption is literally still waiting in that bush. Like, throughout the entire early game, he's basically been camping Lonely Kid. Like, you can see how GameLord is constantly funneling everything into Lonely Kid. Lonely Kid sitting on a comfortable 1.3 thousand gold lead even.
That's that difference being made. And as Lonely Kid gets the reset, come back into lane, he's going to pick up a couple of items. Make his way onto that first early Howlbreaker.
Heste has a 100% hit rate on his hooks right now. Mana Freezer, Heste, everyone seems to be able to play an incredibly good Thresh.
I'm looking forward to the WCK. They play Blitzcrank.
Oh my god.
We don't need anything else. We don't need the rest of the kit from the Thresh. We just want the hook. They will play Blitzcrank. It is hilarious to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you ready for Blitzcranks in your ranked matches, though?
After the games, just a ton of Blitzcranks.
Because if it happens on an online stage, it's gonna happen in your games as well.
Oh man, maybe I'm not actually. Stick to the Thresh, guys. We'll stick to the Thresh. Game slowing down just slightly as first spawn is coming up pretty soon. Redemption making his way back up to the top side. They spot out Kapasiba, and so gets the play initially. Flashing in, but Death Sentence narrowly misses.
Oh, and we saw this from Mana Freezer as well, right? Like where the Thresh players try to go for the flashy plays, they'll waste a lot of resources like the flash, but when it doesn't work, you'll waste everything.
Both objectives coming up. It is the Infernal Drake, and like you mentioned, you've already spent that flash on Heste. It's going to be difficult to make a play off of that. We'll just be fishing for hooks at a distance.
Redemption is looking for something.
Kapasiba will start to walk in here. Beautiful damage coming across. You should have that ultimate coming in. It's just Embrace trying to buy some time, but a snipe out from Lonely Kid. 350 gold netted to the Jace yet again.
That should be a free turret for Gamelord and a free Rift Herald. They do give away the Infernal Dragon to Furious Gaming, however, but I still like this. Like, Furious Gaming is of course going to scale well with the Elder Dragon, but the question is, are they going to be able to scale when Gamelord has that Rift Herald? It seems like Furious Gaming has been able to defend that turret though in the top lane, which is incredibly important, but Gamelord is still going to take this Rift Herald.
Right, it is a matter of is it now or ever. They should be able to take down the top side turret. They do have Lonely Kid in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, so I want to see Lonely Kid get that turret for free in the top lane as well, and then I want to see Gamelord yet again put that Rift Herald in the mid lane. Take the mid lane turret and fight for the next rank. This is deja vu right now, Grandin. Like, you can see Gamelord is just comfortably winning the early game. They're giving away a dragon, which they should have given away. It made so much sense, and they're taking the objectives that they need to take. Perfect game from Gamelord.
And a big difference here from what we saw last game, Sother was in a position where they were playing for the 2 versus 1. And so as Jazz was able to stall, not a big loss, but now, because Jazz has equally long range as Sother,
yeah,
very different dynamic.
Oh yeah, and when you get into that late game, Jash on that Ziggs is actually gonna do more damage than a Varus. So Varus in the early game does more damage than a Ziggs with his arrows, but once you get those items up, you know, once you scale into the late game, that's when Ziggs is gonna outskill a Varus, and the poke is just gonna be unbearable for Furious Gaming. But they have the answers to it, right? They have that big engage with the Diana.
They are looking for an answer. Lonely Kid seems to be the 2-on-1 in the bottom side.
Yeah, Lonely Kid should be alone because he has that hull breaker. It seems like Heste is kind of just waiting for him in the bush. You know what's funny? You know, this is like a funny thing. Because Furious Gaming saw that Lonely Kid did not have the hull breaker next to his name, they will know someone is close. So it's kind of a
yes.
like a
It's
bad
giving
thing
it away,
about the
right.
item. It gives it away.
Absolutely. And Furious Gaming, they know for a matter of fact right now, Howlbreaker is not active and so are looking for a fight for pressure in a precarious position. The Moonfall comes in, Transcendent Race to follow through with, but a Wind Slash to take down the Diana. And Gamelord's come ahead 1 kill.
Redemption doing a solid job in the jungle right now, Grandin. Redemption, I would say, is completely out-jungling Echo right now. He's already gotten 2 ganks. He's gotten 2 out of 3 kills right now.
I mean, between the Wukong and the Riven, I'm inclined to agree with you here, Hells. Riptile used in the mid side, and a beautiful flank coming through, but it is a little bit overextended.
Not sure what happened right there for Ruiz. That was a bit of a questionable turret dive. Let's just phrase it like that. But that's what he's known for, right? Like he screws up like that sometimes.
It looked beautiful. I will give him that. It looked beautiful when I saw it. I was like, yeah, I can see something happening here. But unfortunately, difficult to follow up with that one. Deep on the turret.
So Gamelord does have the right idea. This is how they win late game. We're not into the late game yet, but this is how they win the late game. Which is Ruiz engaged with his Galio, taunt all of them, and follow up with a Ziggs ultimate. This is how they'll do massive damage in the late game. But when Ziggs is only sitting on a Luden's Echo, that's not gonna happen. So, Gamelord gave away that dragon, but you can see Jash, he's going for the Archangel Staff, which we've talked about is a bit of a later game item. This item takes time to skill, but I feel Gamelord can get away with it, because they've done a very good job in the early game. They've gotten that mid lane turret that we talked about, they've got the top lane turret. They should be able to scale in the late game. Not sure what Echo is looking for right here.
Yeah, you just see the Dark Passage there to escort Lonely Kid back to safety on the turret. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, they just get to keep farming up. While Furious Gaming, they are rotating. They're losing gold in that time.
I can't believe Gamelord is winning against Furious Gaming. You really wouldn't. You really.
Like, you woke up this morning and were like, man, Gamelord, I really hope they just take the 1 game off. And then now Gamelord come out the gate swinging, won that first game. Poison maybe take 2.
I needed a coffee to get ready for this game because I thought it would just be a big loss for Gamelord, but Gamelord's gameplay right now, it kind of counts like a triple coffee to me right now because they got my energy up.
A triple shot for Else Devil as the bot side turret to Gamelord. We saw Furious Gaming spot them out, but won't be able to stop it.
Furious Gaming is trying to cancel out the pushes. You can see, you know, they're trying to get that top lane turret. Not sure if they're going to be able to because they won't have enough time to get it. You can see Redemption is going to try to defend it.
Trying to run in, clear out the wave where they can. You can
goes
see
for the
how
kill.
much damage they have. Trying to bring Ruiz into the fight as well, but goes down before that can happen.
Redemption completely disrespecting that isolation damage coming through from Kha'Zix. You cannot do that. Like, sure, Gamelord is winning the game, but you can't fight a Kha'Zix when he has isolation damage, and Echo knows that as well, picks up that kill for free. Oh, he goes for this one as well.
A little bit risky here for Ruiz. Misses the chance for the taunt, just barely outside of range. You get that slow onto the Galio, flash out from Ruiz.
That's a lot of damage from Echo. That is a lot of damage. He's playing that Kha'Zix very, very well and is dealing an incredible amount of damage right now. If he could as well carry this game to... Oh, Jash gets caught by the Shadows Enchant.
But able to dash out in time, has that central charge. But now we see Furious Gaming making their way onto the Reptile Vision, available for Game Lords.
Libra, yeah, I was gonna say, you cannot go back right now. I think this is a free Rift Herald for Game Lord. There's no way Furious Gaming can engage this. It's a bit unfortunate for Furious Gaming because they're unable to get a Dragon as well. And I actually think Game Lord is gonna start off this Dragon too. As they just saw that the entirety of Furious Gaming went back, they're actually gonna try to cheese them. They're gonna wait in the bush. Don't talk. Shh, shh.
There's no vision. Furious Gaming walking in. Won't be able to get a death sentence, but Redemption is still looking for the engage. Facebreaker comes across. Down passage for Redemption to get out.
I love these lanterns by Heste.
Echo, he stepped too far forward in a spot of danger. Libra losing health so rapidly. Furious Gaming need to try and reset here. No HP left on the Baron laner.
Oh, Game Lord is doing it. They're winning the fight. Furious Gaming looking for blood, however.
They're going on to the Dragon. Pressure with a beautiful angle by Ruiz with a kill on the Libra.
What a, just got that kill for free.
Going to 4 versus 5, and Game Lord look to pull the trigger to try and jump in first. Flash after flash from Furious Gaming, but Prusher in the back line will assassinate his targets. Heste goes down, Lodi Kid as well. But still, Redemption left alive, trying to trade back. They're trying to move on to Ruiz. But Redemption comes back in, gets a knock on the taunt, will prevent Prusher from coming in. A double kill from Jazz, but the Dragon's still up. Echo has to dash away the leap to get over the wall.
Oh, this is way too close. Jash is playing with fire. Oh, he gets the kill! Where did that come from?
Jazz! The Lunat's Echo damage difference. And Echo trying to run in, but an auto attack.
No, he can't. He can't run in. It's unfortunate. Furious Gaming is just falling apart right now. Game Lord, Jash picking up. Like you heard them scream, right? You heard them right there. That was them. That was them right there. I'm telling you right now, like these are the moments where Game Lord is gonna start to get emotional. These are the moments where Game Lord is gonna push their advantage even further, because when these guys get emotional, they're a whole different beast of a team.
They are scaling up emotionally, for sure. Going up against the WOL second seed. And we have a Coca-Cola pop-off moment here.
Yeah, definitely. Here you can see, like, I think we have an invisible Ruiz. It's a bit funny, but here you can see Prusher going in, killing both of the backline teams. But it didn't matter because Redemption on the Driven, standing his ground, showing Furious Gaming who is the boss. And I really want to see how Jash got that 1 kill as well. Yeah, and Prusher really pushing his limits, but this moment right here. Look at that. Kapasiba thinks he's safe. Echo thinks he's safe. And then... boom! We didn't see it because we have another fight.
We jump back into the action. Game Lord and Furious Gaming in a massive stalemate by the river right now.
And Jash dealt a lot of damage this game already. He's actually sitting on 3 kills and 0... Libra dealt 0 damage. Sorry,
in the last fight.
I just stopped talking. I think that's a bug. I think that's a bug.
No, in the last fight.
Oh, in the last fight.
In the last fight,
sorry, yeah,
he died at the start to Ruiz.
Yeah. So Jash is 3-0, and he hasn't even gotten his Seraph's Embrace yet, which is huge, Grandin. Like, this item, when it goes into a Seraph's Embrace, first of all, massive damage. Secondly, he'll get that shield against Prusher.
Right. Very critical shield, can keep him alive. A big part of the Furious Gaming game plan, of course, is to kill the marksman or the bot laner.
Oh, they put that Herald in the mid lane as well, just applying pressure. Don't think they're gonna get that bit. Oh, they actually will, because there is a Ziggs. That's one of the champions that can very easily push a turret.
With the satchel charge,
oh,
be able to pick it up.
So calculated. That was amazing.
Exactly the way it should be. Redemption in a very aggressive position. He's actually been in Ruiz. Ruiz would not be punished for that, though.
Oh, the Game Lord just wasted a lot of important abilities. That's the Riven ultimate, that's the Galio ultimate already. That's the Ziggs ultimate too, which dealt half of his HP damage, by the way.
Sarthur cannot play the game. Half his health gone off one Ziggs ultimate, and you can see the cooldown ticking.
Yeah, but the Furious Gaming does have an opportunity to fight now, though, even though they're a bit low. They could reset and quickly fight, because Game Lord did use a lot of important ultimates. They're only sitting on 2 ultimates right now.
But a long vision here for Furious Gaming, which is very nice. And like you mentioned, there was that 2 ultimate expanded. Pressure doing an amazing job hiding away from all the crowd control, but Redemption sitting by the wings, looking for a re-engage. Here's Transcendent Embrace comes across, flash in from Hestes as they look for the flame, trying to pull them in, going golden to buy time. The Ignite not enough to finish off Pressure, over by the back, Loading Kate looking for the re-engage angle as well. Ultimate comes through and going on a rampage, just once again finds his ultimate, finds its mark. Libra now caught in between members of GLD. Chasing after Ruiz will lead the charge with the rest of his team as they want to take down the set. One more hit will get the job done, and Ruiz charging up the Winds of War. But again, gives it over to Jazz with the bouncing bombs.
Jazz is unstoppable. He is sitting on a 5-kill lead right now, 5-0. This is probably the guy we least expected to carry the game because he's coming in as a substitute. But he's been absolutely dominating both games. That first game on the Varus dealt the most damage and carried Game Lord through the victory. And now as well, he's sitting on 3 items, sitting on a Rabadon's Death Cap 2. He's gonna deal so much damage right now, Grandin.
Furious Gaming trying to lick their wounds. Dealing with Jash is going to be a major issue. I mean, very frankly, Pressure, he has a couple of items, but Crystalline Reflector trying to deal with the 80 damage.
But it's not going to deal with Ziggs.
It's not going to deal with Ziggs. And Jash is going to be able to take down virtually anyone on the side of Furious.
Oh yeah, Furious is in big trouble right now. They're in big trouble because they're not going to be able to deal with Jash. Because even if you do catch him out, he still has that Seraph's Embrace, which will give him a shield if he gets under 35% health. So you really gotta catch him out. But then he also has his stasis. Like, you essentially have to just go right through Game Lord's composition.
But I will say this though, when we thought the Furious Gaming were out in their game against Nova Esports,
they made a comeback.
They made a comeback, they pulled the game back in. They do have somewhat of a late game composition.
And, you know, Elder Dragon. This is the one objective which is spawning in 30 seconds right now, which can completely change the game. So the question is, how are these teams gonna play around that Elder Dragon? Echo is waiting right there for Redemption. Redemption is not gonna go in the bush this time. Ooh.
Very close though.
Very close.
And frankly, gold difference, not that massive. A little under 4,000, so Furious Gaming still have a very strong fighting chance in this one. But it is looking to be a GLD game.
All of the gold is funneled on Jash. That's the problem Furious Gaming has right now. First of all, they can't kill him because he has so much defense, and there you can see it just casually poking away 40% health of a Set, who is supposed to be somewhat tanky, and Jash is gonna have his ultimate up very soon as well.
Very quickly looking for a catch here again. Ruiz is going to see himself pulled in by Libra, but a fight going over to GLD to shut this one off. Heste over by the back. We see the engage coming through as well from Pressure, but Pressure gets the flash away. Heste goes down to the opposite end. Redemption now trying to look for a re-engage, flashing in, gets a beautiful knockup onto Furious Gaming, but as they hunt them down the mid lane, Sata needs to flash on the wall, and they get to go away, but 3 men down.
That's it. That should be it. I just changed my sentence because Echo is still up. Game Lord is gonna start this Elder Dragon, and if they take it, they've pretty much secured their victory in the series right now.
But Furious Gaming trying to run down Echo, rushing over to the Dragon, but he's spotted out by Vision on the way there, and it looks to be a GLD Elder Drake. They move on to the Echo once again to take down the Kazakhs. Arrow misses his mark, and Elder Drake will go over to GLD.
And that's another Elder Drake over to Game Lord, and this really hurts the mental game of Furious Gaming. And as we head into this replay, we can look at the team fight. Set instantly got destroyed. And then after that, Heste wasting the times of 3 of the people from Furious Gaming. Sure, he got killed, but it didn't matter because everyone else from Game Lord was sitting on a lot of HP. And then also Jash on that backline, he's never gonna die with that Stasis Enchant and the Seraph's Embrace. And right now, it's Game Lord that's sitting on a very comfortable lead.
Barons are up by Game Lords. They just took a massive fight now. Emboldened, empowered.
Echo's still dead.
They are prepared to go for this.
Echo's still dead.
10 seconds on the Kazakhs, but a re-engage out from Heste. They don't want the Baron just yet. They want to fight before they get there. It doesn't feel the same without it. But a massive amount of damage out from Libra. They might be able to turn this fight around. Pressure starts to dive in. Redemption is going to be able to cancel out the Moonfall. But Jash over by the back is still doing damage. You have to deal with the Ziggs.
And Sartre is finally starting to do a massive amount of damage, but it's kinda too late right now. He dealt so much damage during that team fight, but you've already lost the Elder Dragon. You've already gave Ziggs, like what, 4 items? It's not the time anymore. You should have done this earlier, Sartre.
Well, we do see some turrets start to fall for Furious Gaming. These side waves will continue to crash in. GLD need to spend some time reinvested in the side lanes to push these out.
Oh yeah, and Libra is not having a fun time in this game, granted.
Oh, no.
He's the one guy that's really not having a fun
From
time.
the start of the game to now.
Prusher, however, just finished his Void Staff. He's sitting on a 4-item Diana, and while Galio does counter that Diana, Diana is a champion that can just absolutely blow up Jash. If Jash gets caught off guard and doesn't use his Stasis enchant, he could just get one-shot by Prusher. There is still potential.
We need to see if Furious Gaming will be able to get pressure into the backline. A critical win angle for them.
Whoa, the damage. He's already sitting on 50% health, and the fight hasn't even started.
Just zoning them off the Baron now. They can start to clear waves. Of course, that is the power of Ziggs Galio.
Oh yeah, and we can see Furious Gaming is not having a fun time right now. They're just kind of waiting for stuff to happen, and GameLord is gonna make stuff happen. They're probably gonna be the initiators. There we see it. Oh!
Furious Gaming sees pressure, uses stasis, and lose a lot of health in the process. But Ruiz looking for the re-engage. Just flash in, gets the knock up! But he won't be able to finish off the kill. Senna Embrace too effective in a choke point.
Furious Gaming is still alive, man. Even though this looks like it's over, it is still alive. They still got it. You know, all of them are alive. GameLord is starting off this Baron, which is not the right call. This is not the right thing.
Pressure, but they get the hook in. They're looking for the first fight. Looking for a catch off onto Echo. But in the backline, they have to deal with the backline targets first. Try to take Libra off your carries. And Jash continues to hammer away at Libra. They try to look for a re-engage. Echo's still alive now. Jash throws the bouncing bombs. And Furious Gaming managed to prevent the Baron from going down.
And I'm not sure why GameLord started off that Baron, because they nearly lost that fight. Because, you know, this is a thing that a lot of players don't know. When you start off the Baron, every single second you keep fighting the Baron, you're going to be losing magic resist and armor. So essentially GameLord just lost magic resist and armor for free. Then they all in Furious Gaming and allowed Furious Gaming to deal extra damage because their resists were reduced. So this can still be a dangerous game from GameLord, and this may as well still be a series to win for Furious Gaming.
Absolutely, Furious Gaming could pull it back, especially with the difficulty GameLord is having. I mean, that is one of the compromises to the composition. Slower to finish off the Baron. You have the Ziggs, does so much work against the champions of Furious Gaming.
Yeah,
but against the Baron.
GameLord just has to find a good engage. Like, that's all they need to do. That's literally it. You know, like, Heste go in, Ruiz follows up, Redemption follows up, ultimate from Ziggs, and that's it. That's how you win a fight. But if they allow Prusher to go in, sitting on that 4-item Diana, this game could still be lost by GameLord. And we can see, oh, he just barely dodges out everything. Furious Gaming was looking for that Shadows enchant, didn't unfortunately get it. But yeah, it's still GameLord sitting with the Elder Dragon, sitting with the advantage, and it's so hard for Furious to find an opening right now.
And Prusher is genuinely terrifying right now. He has the Rapidon's Death Cap, the Void Staff, a stacked up Rod of Ages. I mean, if I saw him in my games, I would be terrified of this man.
This is just such a slow game right now. Like, both teams are feeling it. Oh, just a casual Ziggs ultimate. Love to see those in the late game, because it pokes down Furious Gaming. It doesn't allow Furious Gaming to fight. GameLord is just very slowly but steadily trying to, you know, secure this Baron. They don't want a 50-50 it, because of course, if they lose it, we saw that happen before.
Oh my.
They do it again, actually.
Vision in the pit.
Don't like this.
Here for Furious Gaming. Ori starts to run in. They will spot out Libra on the way there. Prusher again on the flank. He's trying to walk in through the river. They do not have vision of this happening. Prusher gets to run in. He gets to move into the back line. Ruiz has to go back to deal with this threat. The Baron going down. It goes over the GLD. Echo falls. Kaposiba soon to go after. And GLD somehow come ahead with the Baron.
GG, this is it. Europe takes a series in the Icon series. GameLord just won the game. There is no way Furious can win this anymore. I can't believe my eyes. I am just so incredibly happy for this team right now. Europe has got this. Europe has got this, and we still have teams.
They are rushing in now. GLD looking for the chance. The flash on the starter does not connect. Nexus losing health to the cannon minions. They need to block this. Chain of Corruption comes in. 2,000 HP left on the Nexus. Minion wave moments away, but with 10 seconds of Kaposiba, GLD stall for now.
And Furious Gaming delaying the inevitable. They know what's up. They know what's happening. They know they're going home, unfortunately, because this is it. You lose this game, you go home. There are no more games to play in the Icon series, and GameLord went through that pressure. They went through the next game, and man, seeing them like this, they got it in them. They may as well just take some more series as well and make it into the group stage.
I mean, Furious Gaming looked dominant. They made history taking down an up WRL team. But now GLD revived and revitalized, go into this one with Heste.
Look at that.
A kill onto Libra. Prepared to end the game right here, right now. Echo needs to find his way back in. Pressure over by the side, but it's locked down so quickly. The shields will not keep him alive. Redemption survives through his transcendent embrace. No damage out from Caposima. Ruiz joins back in. The Guardian Angel out. But Nexus falls and it's GLD with a series win over Furious Gaming.
They got it. Game Lord has won the game. Although I didn't get my prediction right, I could not be happier. I don't care about the prediction, Brandon. I just care about the memes. There is not going to be any memes anymore after seeing that because Game Lord just showed you what EU is made of.
I'll tell you what, Hells, maybe this is the secret, right? You need to vote against the European teams, and that's when they start to win.
That's when they start to win indeed, right? Like, I think I've gotten a maximum of 50% of my predictions right, so I'm not that good at...
That's decent. That's a coin flip.
Yeah, sure.
That's a coin flip, you know. It would be interesting if you had significantly higher or lower, but at a coin flip, you know, that's where things are.
That's right. So we still have another series coming, which is Unsold Stuff Gaming and Stamina as well. We just had the most exciting series ever, and this is also going to be a banger.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw an impressive showing out from both these teams. Interesting thing as well as a very similar playstyle, but of course right now on your screens you get to see the win moments here from Game Lords, the celebrations as they know they will stand one more chance to keep their run going.
You can see how happy these guys are, right? Like, they're proud of themselves, and they should be. There you go. We can hear them scream as well. Like, they got it. They still have more games coming. And next one today as well, Rix. You know, this is the first European team that is going to get closer to the group stage as well. Next to Team Queso, who already is in the group stage. I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy right now.
I have to say, you know, it feels like Ruiz was able to get his revenge on Pressure.
Yeah.
Called out, said he was going to hunt for him. Well, it looks like Ruiz gets his response in the end. That Galio came in and he put the pain onto Furious Gaming.
Prusher did a great job on the Diana. Can't take away from that, but
of course,
Ruiz on that Galio. You know, yet again, like, sure, the draft allowed him to do that, but he followed through. Like, he followed through. He did his job. He did so much damage. His ultimates were beautiful. It was just perfect. This was perfect.
Yeah, a perfect game and a perfect series here for GLD, I'm sure, and we are looking forward to see what else they have in store to break down this series. We're going to have the analyst desk break this one down. A surprise, I'm sure, for you guys, right?
A big surprise here as the WREC are on the board. We got one happy analyst over there on that casting desk.
Well, it's like tinged with melancholy because he got his prediction wrong.
He said he was proud to be
right,
wrong.
Okay.
Right,
right.
he did say he was proud to be wrong. All right, so let's take a look at that one as Game Lord take the victory, and we'll move on in the bracket. They get the win over Furious Gaming. That means our first team is going home here, TJ.
Yeah, it does mean, unfortunately, Furious Gaming will be our first team eliminated from Icons. It also means we have a win on the board for EU at Icons. So, Icons give and Icons take.
They do, TJ. Let's take a look at the highlights from this last one here. As things got rolling early for Game Lord, and they really didn't look back here.
Yeah, Heste, again, did the same thing as game number one. Basically, first back, I'm going to roam top side, I'm going to help Lonely Kid. And I feel like this sort of strategy has been helping a lot.
And even down here in the bottom lane where he played a little bit more duo than he did last game, his mechanics in those fights, his positioning in those fights was impeccable.
Yeah, every single time he's gonna land these defenses. They'll burn a flash, burn everything. Just as Hell said, the early game was basically a fight of 1 HP bars, everybody surviving, but it doesn't change the fact that Hesse did a lot in the early game.
Yeah, and we were looking for a little bit more out of Pressure, this time having a bit more setup on the Diana, on an Assassin, felt a little bit more comfortable, but TJ, I felt like he wasn't able to have the same impact, and the rest of the team wasn't able to have the same impact as they did in the Nova Series.
Yeah, we were very critical of the draft during game number one.
Sure.
Game number two, Furious Gaming come into this with the set on the top side for Libra, with Pressure on a very easy execution Diana. You see the composition right there. Start with the set, follow through with the Diana, one team fight. I don't think they executed that combo once. Furious Gaming the entire time were desynced. They looked clumsy going into the fights. And that's unfortunately something they're going to have to work on in the next season of regular play if we get it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like this was the usual rock, paper, scissors, right? Poke comps versus engage compositions. Usually engage comps can easily prevent any poking any further if you engage right away. But unfortunately, just as TJ has mentioned, it felt like they were having a hard time finding these opportunities, finding to get that, facebreaker, haymaker, showstopper into the moonfall. It wasn't exactly there. And the fact that, the Ziggs, Jace in general, built up the tier for their second item meant that they were prepared to spam you all day long. They're not going to run out of any mana. So this was their plan all along.
Yeah, and every time that it did look like Furious Gaming were going to step up, were going to get close, they would get poked so much and still engage here, TJ. There were many times where it felt like they could have backed off and tried to recompose themselves.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference was between now and the Nova series, but whereas versus Nova, it looked like Furious's strength was their in-fight communication, was how clear and decisive their calls were surrounding fights. Here, Nova were taking, they were being taken apart by Game Lord as they approached those fights. Such good play around the Ziggs, as you talked about. Jace playing a very good series across 2 games with the Varus last time as well, putting in tons of damage as the enemy team is approaching the fight. And especially if you're a team that's having trouble coordinating those fight engages, you're going to get half HP before you can even get in range.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could tell Pressure knows the fact that we can't do this front to back.
Yeah.
We have to do a flank. We have to find a way where we can attack them from behind. But every single time, Game Lord knows that this is coming, and that's the reason why Pressure, when he enters the fight, he's all alone.
Yeah, and they did a great job of, honestly, I think, fighting the front line, so there was no follow-up from the rest of Furious Gaming. We took a look at that gold graph, and you just look at the damage. 48,000, 33,000, and as much as Pressure and Arthur were trying to get themselves in there, there was just really no way for Furious Gaming. It was all right, you can have the Varus poke a little bit, but once Pressure goes in, we all have to go in, and no one else was really able to follow.
And 2 games in a row where Jace is so much of the plan for Game Lord. I think we've seen some really good drafting from Game Lord at this event. Their coach Glaciox coming in here, contributing a ton. As this game and the last game, they're given the tools to just stall out fights, guarantee maximum time for their backline to farm damage. It's a very easy to execute composition. It's real bread and butter. Frontline stand in front, backline throw out damage. And they were able to deliver on it versus some very aggressive teams, which is the hard part.
Yeah, the fact that there's a Galio as well protecting from any moonfall engage just added so much defense on this double poke comp that they had.
All right, well, one of the winners is standing by with us right now. Kangas is standing by with the top laner, Lonely Kid.
Thank you, Degon. I'm here with Baron Laner from Game Lord Lonely Kid. First off, big fan. I've been a fan of you since watching you in your regional finals. Crazy matchup here. You continue on in Icons. I heard a lot of noise on stage right there. Very animated team. Everyone was screaming, but who's screaming the most on stage?
Ruiz, of course.
Ruiz? All right, what was he saying? Because all we heard from like the analyst desk was just shouting and then laughter afterwards.
He's barking as usual on stage. It's his main skill on stage. He only activates in LAN. So it's a kind of good buff for us because the enemy team can't hear their communications.
It's a distraction. So he shot calling and also distraction. I love that. Well, you watched Furious Gaming take a game off of Nova earlier in this tournament. So I'm curious, going into this series, what did you feel like your goal was? Like, what did you need to do as an individual going into this best of 3?
I mean, to be honest, when we watched the debut Nova, I mean, they took 1 game. We were kind of afraid because Nova was looking pretty strong and they take 1 game from them. So I think it was huge. But even though I was really confident and I trusted my teammates, and I think I played the strong side really well with Redemption and Hesta. I mean, they all helped me, so we kind of destroyed the top lane. So our main priority was in the game that strong side me, weak side bot lane, and if we take kills, if we can snowball, we can win. Our goal was that.
I mean, hey, it worked out, and that seems to be the goal in general for Game Lords. Play through Lonely Kid. I think that's why you have so many fans out there. But there's one lane that I'm really excited to see coming up next because you just had an insane series against Flash Wolves earlier in this tournament. Your matchup against Ysera was legendary in the 1v1. We saw kills back and forth. A lot of them going your way, so I'm curious. If you look at the camera, if Sarah's watching this, do you have any message for your Baron Lane opponent up next?
He needs to be ready. I mean, and I think he will need a little bit of luck.
Ooh, ready and luck. All right, Sarah, that's a message for you right there. Hope he sees it. What about message for the fans? Because again, there are a lot of folks back in EU, back home, that are cheering you on right now, hoping that you're able to qualify for the group stage. So what message do you have for the folks at home?
I mean, thanks for all your support, and I hope we will represent you in the best way possible. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
I'm sure that they're already proud right now. Thank you very much, Lonely Kid. And back to you, Digon.
Thank you very much, Kangas. And there it is, top laner, Lonely Kid, making the call out there.
Better be ready.
Gonna need some luck.
I'm confident with it, Sarah.
Again,
I'm calm.
Again, the
WCS bias right here.
WCS fan. Okay, well, hey, next up, we have Stamina going up against Unsold Stuff in our next matchup. And Stamina's Serious wants all of you to start putting some respect on his name. Take a listen.
He's gonna do. We try our best, and they do something different. We have it in our plans, but this wasn't enough. I mean, it's like the popular opinion that we are from LAN, we are the tier team of LAN, and it's normal that the people think that we are the weakest team, but we go on to prove that they're wrong. Los quiero mucho, chicos. Gracias por haber visto las partidas, todos los chicos en el grupo. Aún no he visto los mensajes, pero yo estoy seguro que todos ustedes nos dieron un gran apoyo, así que les mando un abrazo y un beso, y sobre todo pues a mis familiares, a los familiares de los compañeros de mi equipo, y que esté todo bien. Aquí seguiremos esforzándonos.